What is up, guys? Good morning. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Today is Tuesday all day. Um, we have a very special guest, and his name is Scott G. Roeder, and you guys have heard from him before. So I'm excited to have him on. We're going to talk about the Idaho 4 case as far as what has been released from some of the media outlets. There's been a total of between 182 pictures and 200, of which the only people right now to get that is going to be people that are outlets in Idaho, according to the public requests that we've received back. Is that if you are not from Idaho, you can wait 29 days, 28 days, 30 days, something like that. But if you are from Idaho, you can get your stuff within 3 days. So stuff has trickled out. And so what this episode is to introduce it as a part one, with Scott looking at what we have right now. And then with a part two and maybe even a part three that it just gets more in depth, because I'm sure Scott's going to tell us all about, there's certain things that we can tell from this. There's certain things that we can't tell from this. But what I want to first do is introduce Scott. Hi.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What is up with you?
Living the dream in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio.
Cheers! Oh my God.
Out there.
When you say Cleveland, I gotta go like that. That's the hometown right there.
We got a visitor in the back. Dexter is going to be joining us for this evaluation today. Isn't that right, Dexter?
Oh my God, that's right. Everybody, I don't know if the crowd knows, but Scott's pup is named Dexter. Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, he's down by my side now. He heard me. And we are going to be dealing with some. Dexter's making a live appearance here.
He just had to.
Everybody is ready to evaluate. Are you ready to evaluate some murder photographs, Dexter? You're always on the job, ready to go. He's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dexter.
It's true. I got to meet Dexter too.
Yeah,
Dexter's a traveler too. You take Dexter like what, everywhere possibly?
Yeah, I take Dexter everywhere. He flies out in the airplanes with me. He goes to everywhere. Matter of fact, I've got a potential 6 months consult in Australia coming up, and he's going to be coming with me to Australia. All right, buddy. I love you.
Are you serious? Australia?
Yeah, Dexter, get down. Come on. I love you. Or you can whatever you want to do. He's gonna hang out, I guess.
Oh, Dexter can hang.
Yeah, he can hang. All right.
Dexter can steal the show.
We doing this or what, buddy?
Yeah, let's go. I know we already talked that you're going to be in and out sometimes with like you get froze, unfroze, but the voice is awesome. So like that never freezes. So that's awesome.
We are gonna. The screen is gonna freeze. Oh, all the way South Africa. What's up in South Africa? I love you, South Africa. And in South Africa, I have got a gift for you. Oh wait, we got Aussies in the crowd. Excellent. I am going to be coming to Australia soon again, and for an extended stay. And I do have a big announcement during the show for everybody here in South Africa.
Really?
I'm sure the people in South Africa know me very well.
Oh, that's from the Oscar Pistorius case?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. I'm excited to hear about that. Okay, so we'll jump right into it. Here we go. Just I'm going to make this as big as possible just for a second. So recalling the crime scene here, the student's house at 1122 King Road, there's the two bottom floor bedrooms. One was not being occupied, and that's the one on the right, on the lower level. That's considered the first floor. Then you got the staircases that go up to the second floor. Yep. And the room to the right there, that's going to be Ethan and Xana's bedroom. And then there's the living room is actually in front of them, which will be the bedroom to the back on the second level.
Yeah.
Which is Dylan's. And then I have another picture I can show you too. Let's see. When I go like, oopsies. To kind of go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good perspective there. Nice work.
Like this.
Yep.
So on that second level, that's where the kitchen is. It's also on the second level. And then there's that staircase. So then there's the bathroom next to Xana's room. Let's see. There you go. And I just want to go to the third floor really quick. And then when you get up to the third floor, it's it's going to be all the windows are in the back that actually have the bedrooms, but in the front of the house, the middle window is kind of like looking through like the foot, like the stair level kind of,
Yeah.
and the all the way to the left is like where the bathroom is on the third floor.
Right.
And Kaylee and Madison were found in Madison's room, which is all the way to the left back, and then actually the dog was found in Kaylee's room, and that's something that I want to ask you about as we're going to go through. That the
Yes.
dog had no blood, nothing, but then there's some issues surrounding if with the dog as far as a couple things,
What
which
kind of
we'll
a
get
dog
into.
was it?
A golden doodle,
A
like a
golden doodle.
year, yeah, like a year and a half, I think, at
Yeah,
that point.
golden doodles have total crackhead energy. However,
Okay,
they are very smart. My daughter has two golden doodles, and yeah, but they are very skittish. Uh,
okay,
they're not very brave dogs. They are smart dogs, but they're not very brave dogs. And no, I'm not trying to throw any shade on the golden doodles out there or the golden doodle owners, but um, I would not consider that to be a watchdog. However, I would expect that dog to bark quite a bit.
really.
Yeah,
Okay, interesting. That's interesting.
yeah.
Um, okay, cool. All right, so let's then. If there's anything else I wanted to show you as far as okay, there's just a look from like the side to
Yeah.
reacquaint you with, and then that we can just we'll come back. All right, so let me go with doing it this way. I'm going to show you our first question, which is going to be. Let me share my screen with the next item. Okay. So up on Madison and Keely's third floor, this is the if you actually so here this is the door being closed, okay?
Yeah.
And right there is what we caught those two blood. I don't know if you want to say is it going to be cast off? Is it going to be but
Zoom in on that just a little bit.
sure thing. And then here I can make it so that it's full
Yeah, no,
screen.
that's good right there. That's good right there. Now
Okay.
here we have some defined tails. The one more to the right, more to the center, uh,
Okay.
is a cast off droplet. Matter of fact, they both are cast off droplets. And now this is the door that the survivor opened, saw the murderer, and then closed. Right?
No, well, actually, so it was
This.
actually opened like this. So this is how it was found, and
Okay.
then the the police officers closed it. I believe at some point, and because then it was reopened to like come in again like this to take the
Yeah. Well,
pictures.
here's my take on that blood right there. If you go back to that blood picture, with
Okay. Do you want me to do it from?
the very last picture that we just looked at.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay. So because of the proximity to the door handle, I believe this is below the door handle. Could you zoom out a
Uh,
little?
yeah. Let me. I think it's right above it. No, right below it.
It's below it. Yeah. So the blood is below the door handle. So to me, this suggests that the blood was put there and cast off either while the door was being closed. So I think whoever closed the door, it's possible that they cast that blood there, or maybe somebody was making a motion toward the door and had blood on the hand or the knife, and could have deposited there while trying to manipulate the door handle. Would be a first observation. And then we have gravity droplets on there, and the reason why we know that they're gravity droplets is because they are circular. And when you have a circular gravity droplet, that means that the blood source is directly above the deposit, right? So the more straight the blood comes down, the more circular it will appear. When the blood becomes elongated or elliptical, that will show you that there's motion with the object or person that's the source of the blood, meaning that the source of the blood is moving. And that could be blood off the knife or off of a person. And then when you get a tail on that ellipse, got a fire hydrant go by. That was a cop, actually. When you have uh, when you have a tail on the ellipse, then that gives you very defined directionality, and it also gives you cast off speed. So the longer the tail, the more powerful the movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
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 there's
my
directionality and speed of the object that's giving you the blood.
okay, so a question I have here is I'm trying to see how far this would go over to the point of like right by the door here if it was open. I
Yeah.
see a couple I see a couple spots here.
Yep.
And the only part that's on the door that we see is just those two
Yep.
spots up here. So do you have an opinion that if this door was closed or open during the attack? And if I can show you a couple other photos that may
Well,
help with that, or can you not tell from this?
here's my question. Here's my answer to your question. I don't think either of those are exactly the way I would like to frame it. The way I
Okay.
would frame it would be that the blood on the ground is gravity droplets. The
Okay.
blood on the door is more of a cast off. So, what I think the interpretation here is somebody who is already bloody, or most likely the knife was in the hand, and they tried to open the door, and they opened the door and they walked in. So what I'm saying is there was blood either on the knife or on the hand. Most likely blood on the knife is what I'm thinking. And so this is post. This would be a post. Somebody already has died by the time the person who opens this door with a bloody knife, I'm assuming, because that's the murder weapon here, opens the door to maybe check to see if there's any more threat in that room. So this would be walking. This would be opening the door, walking in, and depositing blood, and then coming back out and closing the door. So what's going on in this room? Is there any murder happening in this room?
Yes. So
Okay,
yes, this is
okay.
where Maddie and Kaylee are.
Matt
So
and Kaylee. Okay, so
okay.
this would be probably post murder,
But
standing.
there was okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and then Xana and Ethan. So they said that they were unable to determine like for sure what the order was, but that they were leaning towards like the authorities when they came out and said that it was upstairs first and then downstairs second. And that's why they were like leaning towards that one of those two girls was the target.
Yeah.
And that the killer didn't know that there was actually two girls going to be in that room because Kaylee was in that room as well.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well, it could be either or. It could be that a murder in another room has already happened, or the murder in this room has just happened, and the murderer with the knife is either leaving or coming in.
okay, would you
The way we would know that for sure is if we had DNA mapping on whose blood it is on the door and on the handle. But to me, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of movement from the victims, except maybe for the boy. And I think these people were killed. These girls in this room were killed where they were at, possibly killed while they were sleeping and being waken up from sleep. So this is very much a sneak attack thing. But if I'm just looking at this just as a capsule, this to me says this is blood dripping off of the knife by the killer.
right there? Okay. Would
Blood
it have
inside.
would you at all like concern yourself with like, okay, hey, looking at the door handle, since if there was like blood there or not? I don't know if over here to the right if that's blood.
Well, I can't really tell. It could be anything.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
Okay.
the question really is, we know that he was wearing gloves, right? And he didn't leave a bloody fingerprint or a bloody handprint on this door. But I would say this is definitely blood from the knife, either from this killing or from another killing, and it's either him coming in or going out.
Okay.
And that goes for both the blood on the door and the blood on the ground. And it's not the knife's not moving because of the gravity droplets. It's only being spread out because he's moving with the knife. So the knife
So
is not
he's
even
like
used. The knife is bloody. he's either walking out or coming in, but it's very slow. It's almost like he's standing there, letting the knife drop blood very gently off of the tip of the knife onto the ground, making circular patterns with the blood. So this is a moment in time where the killer is either coming in and or leaving. I'm going to go ahead and say leaving the room because there doesn't seem to be any urgency with regard to these blood patterns.
Okay, okay.
So I
So
think,
interesting. That's interesting. Here I'm gonna now show you in the same room. That way, like you could be oriented.
yeah,
I'm gonna show you. This is probably the more graphic of just so a trigger warning for anybody that's watching. This is probably the more graphic of the crime scene photos in my personal opinion that have been released.
and
You
if
can't
people are
see.
watching your channel, they shouldn't have a trigger.
Okay.
I'm sick of trigger warning. And
There you go. You like that?
yeah,
So
yeah.
here
Listen,
I'm gonna.
if you're following the Idaho 4 case, I don't think that you have a trigger on murder and or assault. Okay, my guess.
Oh, see, there you go.
Just my guess.
I like your way of looking at that. Okay.
Just my guess.
Okay, so here, this is, we're going to use, okay, this right here.
I think we have a lot of adults in here. That's pretty experienced. It could be cast off from the attack. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
So
cast. These are
this is,
gravity droplets. These are gravity droplets from the knife on the ground, and it's.
wait, this is in the bed here? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I don't see the photograph yet. It's
Oh,
not
okay. Can you
loading.
see it now?
No, it's still loading, and I'm frozen, so it'll probably load once I'm unfrozen. And
Oh, okay.
I apologize. Oh, now I see it. Okay.
Okay. So here, this is,
Yeah,
so this is,
we got a complex thing. Can you make that picture full screen?
yep, I'm going to do that right now. You got it. Full screen. So
Actually, zoom it out just a little bit more.
you got it.
Right there. Yeah, I guess it's good. Okay, so we've got. We definitely have pooling of blood. That's.
Now, just so you know, this is a picture taken that supposedly the two girls are still in the bed, and this is up against the wall that's like when we first came in, right there on your left.
Yeah.
And so Kaylee was in the inside on this part in the inside of the bed, and Maddie was on the outside.
Yeah.
And so now Kaylee's wounds were said
Yeah. I
to.
can tell you exactly what this is right here.
Oh, you can. Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is.
I'll make it bigger. There you go.
That's
Is
it.
that better?
Yeah, this is what we're seeing here is we've got the a deep blood seeping into both pillows. It looks like, or at least in that one pillow. I can't tell if that's a pillow or if that's a blanket on the front side. But
The dark brown one.
yeah,
It's like it's like a comforter type. So it's a blanket.
All right, but it looks like there's deep pooling in the bottom of the screen, but deep pooling on the top. The top is definitely where the head was resting, and you can even see water bubbling up in that depression right there. And that that looks like a face down type of a pattern. But I want to relate. Now the one on the bottom isn't clear enough, but it definitely looks like there's heavy pool. There we go. There's heavy pooling there in that crease.
Okay.
Got some other heavy droplets. Now, most particularly, let's look at the wall.
Okay.
Now, the wall blood patterns is, I think, 100% the attacker casting off blood from the knife as he's stabbing the victims, and I mean, I see him jumping on the bed and getting on top and aggressively stabbing. Looks like possibly even with his left hand, could be the right hand, but looks like more like of a left hand cut, left hand swing. Yeah, this is a violent scene where she was horribly attacked, and it looks like he jumped on top and was hacking away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stabs, 7, 8, 9 stabs. It looks like from the pattern on the wall, it looks like 9 stabs.
And like when you say that, are you talking about like would that just tell you that in that position where you're saying like to get like on top of somebody? Because let's say that.
Yeah, I think she's laying in the bed face down. He jumps on top and stabs her 9 times, possibly with his left hand. I don't know if he or if this. I don't know which one died first, but I think this is the attack of a very close. Because I don't see a lot of movement from the victim here. So depending on where he's stabbing her at, particularly, I know there's a lot of chest shots. Scotland in the house. What's going on, Scotland? I've been to Scotland a couple of times, and I love Scotland. I had the most memorable love affair of my life in Scotland. Scotland in the house. I gotta say hi to Scotland.
Question for you about can you tell from this if the person was under the covers or on top of the covers as far as like the blanket goes?
Victim or the killer?
What if I'm talking about like the victim, does it, can you tell if the victim was because my thought is here, I mean correct me if I'm wrong, is that if they were under the covers, would there be holes in the blankets?
Oh, sure, 100%. It's
Okay.
hard to tell if there's holes in the blankets or not. There might be, but it looks like they maybe were partly on top of the blankets, partly under the blankets. They could have, you know, the blankets could have been moved. It's hard to tell.
Could it be if he came in not realizing there was two people in the bed, so he comes and walks around, so he's on the right side and goes to attack, let's say like Maddie's on the that right side, and that the person that would have been on the inside attempts to like get up and escape, and then like you just said a couple minutes ago, they then got on, pushed them back down and got on top of them.
Well,
they said that her face, again, trigger warning, but that her dad came out and said that Kaylee's face was unrecognizable, and Kaylee was the only one that had blunt force trauma. Everybody else was just sharp inflicted stab wounds. And so Kaylee was the only one that, and there was her face was unrecognizable, and it was due to blunt force trauma that didn't have to do with the knife, but potentially a second weapon. And so I was like, okay, if there's anybody that could probably bring some light to like what that could potentially mean. I mean, I could read it from what the
well, any kind of blunt force trauma is typically, it could be a fist, it could be a boot, it could be a hammer, whatever. But blunt force trauma means pulverizing without cutting so much,
Yeah.
So it could be it could be a fist even,
They said that they were able to rule out that it wasn't a fist, and that
they were able to rule out that it was not a fist. Why? Because he had no bruises on his hands or anything like that. But he wasn't intimidated fast enough that those bruises could have been resolved, I think. Did anybody report him having injuries?
No, yeah, he was at the doctor, I guess, a couple days later. Remember, we were talking about that the first time we discussed this, and you said, "Hey, I'd be detaining everybody and saying, let me see your hands, because whoever did this is going to have bruising if they're right-handed or if they're left-handed. Like, look at their hands."
Also, I would think that Brian, I think we can just say Brian is the murderer here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kohler.
Because he admitted to it, right?
Yeah.
So Brian, I think, would come with multiple weapons. He'll come with one or two knives, and definitely maybe a blunt force. It could be like a large flashlight, a Maglite flashlight, which weighs about 6 pounds, and you can definitely beat somebody with that sufficiently.
Brass knuckles.
Maybe. I mean, it seems a bit of a novelty, but it's possible.
Okay. I was just trying to think of how you could possibly have your gloves on, and if they said it was like a horizontal, Kaylee had like a indentation, and it almost looked like she was like kind of gagged, but like they said that they couldn't. They were really, they just didn't know. It came down to the fact that like they weren't able to determine, but that it was something different than everything else. And so I was like, okay, well,
it could have been his forearm, it could have been his elbow, it could have been his knee, could have been his foot, it could have been a broomstick, a baseball bat, something random from the room, or something he brought with him.
Like boots, if they have like horizontal line or something like that, like if you are just
good, yeah. I mean,
I'm just curious. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different things that it could be. Uh, you know, everybody's saying golf club here.
Yeah, that I would just don't pay attention to that.
Um,
I don't think it's a golf club, but that's just me. Um,
I don't know about golf club. I mean, if there's a missing golf club, I don't know, maybe, uh, but yeah, I don't know about. It's hard to say. I mean,
okay,
the thing that really impacts me, and we should just slow it down for just a second and say,
okay,
these victims. I mean, this is a horrible, horrible crime, and I feel bad for their families really badly. The amount of pain that they're going through, and all that is just so difficult. I was asked recently a question. Matter of fact, if people want to talk, we can talk about this a little diversion a little bit. I was recently on the podcast. This guy, the Truth Hunter, George
okay.
Hobbs, great guy. We were just talking about a number of different things, and he randomly asked me a question. He's like, "Scott, you've seen a lot of murder in your day." I'm like, "Yeah, I sure have." And he's like, "Well, what's the difference between somebody who's a murderer and somebody who's not a murderer?" And and I think there's two kinds of people, right? I think you can become a murderer by having your wire be worn and thin over time by your environment, by your choices, by things that are your fault or not your fault. You can be a victim. Uh, and we know victims often victimize, right, if they don't resolve it. Um, and it usually happens over a long period of time, like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Like you don't just fly off the handle one day and murder, right? You
Yeah,
become kind of polluted to the point where you can be able to murder because of a circumstance, right? And then the other kind of person is Brian Koberger.
okay.
Uh, I think a guy who is wired to be a psychopathic, probably on the spectrum,
That
isolated
came out as far as him being on the
Yeah.
spectrum.
No, he's definitely. I could tell by the look on his face, by the cut of his jaw, by the blank stare and soulless nature of his body, that he is on the spectrum. And I'm not saying people on the spectrum are soulless. I'm not saying that at all. I know people on the spectrum
You
that I
you
love.
just you just mean as far as like because I think that's something that Ann Taylor was even talking about with going to trial that because that's just a characteristical trait that comes
Yeah,
with
yeah, it's like a stare.
yeah
That's why they say the Gen Z stare, where people are just like you know,
yeah
uh, and I think it's because of being people on the spectrum. There's a lot more people on the spectrum now than there's ever been in the history of humanity, and I personally believe it's from environmental toxins, not genetics.
Mm.
And uh, but this guy Brian, was so detached from reality and probably wanted to become Dexter. I think he
well that's
saw.
what they're trying to say that in terms of sorry I didn't mean to cut you off go ahead
No, no,
apologize
no, but no, it's fine. This is back and forth, my girl, my queen bee. Uh, this is, I think, and I don't know everything there is to know about this, but being a crime scene expert and not being a serial killer, but being a fan of the show Dexter, which I think was literally the most accurate forensic technical show ever made,
okay
100%. Uh, the way
I
he
enjoyed Dexter
way he did it was absolutely perfect. The way they actually investigated the crimes and the way they did the science experiments. Like I sat when I watched the show, I'm like, bravo, bravo.
like
That's exactly how I would have done that.
okay so like you're saying it's like the most lifelike right like it's most realistic
Most realistic and it's most scientifically accurate.
yeah
But the point I'm trying to say with regard to, so I don't know if Brian Koberger liked the TV show Dexter, but I think he might have.
I
It was
think you
very
might have.
popular show. And depending and seeing what he wanted to be, what he was trying to aspire to, and then being a and kind of a on the spectrum and kind of an incel.
Okay.
Uh, he probably looked at these girls.
Well, here let's go away from that just a little bit. Just with like only reason why is I just want to focus on like
The crime scene photographs. I know.
yeah
I'm getting meta. I'm fine.
yeah
I've been overruled. Overruled.
overruled. The judge has waved the bell on that only just because like
It's
to
boring.
me I just no because that like I just think that that's I could have an opinion about that. You could have, but
We don't have to
the
agree.
one where you would actually get on a stand and be like, dude, this guy
Oh,
knows this shit. This is what he's. So for
well,
me,
yeah.
I'm like, hey,
I was just.
do you
I
think it's at all possible that multiple people committed this crime? Like how much? Like so here, this is Xana's room, for example. Like how the blood droppings were. And I'm just trying to use the layperson terms here. The same like upstairs. You see this. This is her beginning to walk into her room. The door's on the left. I can back out just a tad.
And these are gravity droplets again. These are definitely blood dropping off the edge of the knife.
Okay. And so so here's a question of mine. Just like a first thing I notice is I don't see that these are smeared because of walking.
Right.
Okay. There's no smears because of like walking through them at all that I can tell. Can you?
No, but they're a bit far apart. So I mean,
Okay. So what does that tell you?
That there was not a lot of motion. That they were standing
Meaning
still.
that like he could have just been like standing there and like maybe moved his arm a little, a couple ways as he's trying to like figure out what the heck he's gonna do to cover. Maybe I gotta wrap this knife in a shirt or put it in something because I don't want to drip out the blood.
Things, but what this shows to me is a cool, calm, collected, deliberate, sneaky fucker walking around, killing and evaluating, and killing and evaluating. And I think most of these poor young people were dead prior to knowing that anybody else was hurt. So,
are you talking about the girls?
Yeah, I think he was.
No, that actually came out. They were texting during it. They were awake. They were opening up their door.
But whatever was going on in the house, Brian was not running around from room to room like a
really.
He was
that's
going
important. That's
room
like wow.
to room, slowly, deliberately, like walking as slow as Freddy or as Jason from Friday the 13th. Brian never ran. He never got excited. He stayed calm and cool and collected like a fucking murdering robot based on these photographs that I'm seeing of gravity droplets coming off the edge.
So this isn't somebody that was running in there to get this done in a 7-minute period?
No, I think he was calm and collected and did it.
Please listen, chat. Do you see where we're going with things? Like I'd rather ask somebody a question that doesn't know shit about it because it's like, dude, you don't know the mainstream narrative. You don't know this. Hey, what's going on? What does this crime scene photo tell you, or these photos tell you? Because it's going to tell you something, right? I know we laugh about, oh, the crime scene spoke to me. Okay. So what you just said right there literally blows my mind. And actually a good way, because what I've been saying is that there's no way that this was rush in, rush out, and this is what we're getting. This is what we're seeing. In terms of what you just said, this is somebody that is cool, calm, collected, not in a hurry.
Yeah, this was, and that's why. See, I was actually going to a point before you cut me off before.
Oh, sorry. See again. Just
the point was
overruled, Lana.
I'm just joking. This is your show, not mine.
No, I love it.
But the point I was trying to make was, I think Brian killed before.
See now that's where like people, they were trying to like look into everything possible.
Right now, that's one thing that I think the police should be doing. Is
they couldn't do it. They couldn't find it.
I think there's still time. There's still time, and there's still time for Brian to talk, because right now he's high on the power. I'm actually surprised he didn't go to trial.
Me too.
Because I think he would have been excited to watch his work for the public. But I think somebody scared him about the death penalty, or maybe he became scared about the death penalty and he gave in. But I think he wants to talk about this at some point in the future if it gives him attention. And I think he desperately, at this point, he wants people like if he heard what I just said, he'd probably be happy about that. He's like, yeah, it was cool. I was calm. I was collected. I was stealthy. I am cold blooded. You know,
Mhm.
that's what's going to make him be able to live through prison, right? Because if they think he's like a scared rabbit in prison, he's dead. Unless he's in
Well,
solitary confinement.
and that's where he's at right now.
Yeah, for a
Um,
while, he's going to be in solitary, but at some point, they got to put him back in pop.
okay. This is just kind of to show, like, upstairs on the third floor, like the bathroom, like it was meticulous. Nobody went in there.
Yeah.
Let me go and show you. Let's see. I want to use this other one. Hold on one second. Wanted to go back to this. Okay, so like here's like the stairs. I'll show you the ones that go up to the first floor and then up to the second floor side by side. Okay. So the one on the left is the one that's going to go from where the Dylan's room is there on the left. It's going to go up those stairs. There's a little landing, and then it goes up again to the third floor. The one on the right is coming from the ground level, right when you come into the house, and is going up. Neither one of these stairs, I mean, from the pictures, but there's only on the stairs going actually down to from the first level. Yeah. There's actually blood that does not belong to Brian Koberger. Okay. And it's on the banister side of the wall.
Yeah.
And I can't, this just came out in like the documents. So my question is does he was supposedly didn't come in this way, didn't leave this way, but yet there's male DNA in the blood that is a male unidentified profile. What do you feel about that?
Well, we have a male.
So like Brian, it doesn't match Brian's. Like it came out in trial that didn't match Brian's blood. It got labeled as.
And it didn't match. It didn't match the male victim in the house.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I mean,
would that be just something that
look like there's a large amount of blood, just like a tiny little bit of blood, like a little smudge?
We didn't see if he would have gone. Yeah. That's what we're waiting for.
This is a house with a bunch of young people. Young people bleed. There's 100 people coming in and out of this house. It's a social house. They're having social parties all the time. There's a number of people. Who knows how many people came in and out of this house?
Would you want that as? Would you?
I don't know how important that is.
Okay, and then
it could be sometimes I'll walk into a crime scene. Like I'll give you an example. Like I do a lot of cases where, like, say in like housing complexes, and I'm looking for bullet defects. And
wait, where did you say again? What type of complex?
Like a low income housing.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Where there's a history of violence, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm investigating a particular crime where somebody was shot and killed, and it's outside or it's inside, with apartments, and there's more bullet holes than I think might have anything to do with the crime I'm investigating.
Right? Okay.
Because it could be bullet holes from a different event, right? From
something not related. Absolutely.
This could be blood from something totally unrelated. This could be blood from something totally unrelated. We don't know. I don't know if they have professional cleaners in there. I mean, I could see somebody cutting their finger, opening up a beer can, and then walking up to the bathroom 5 weeks before this happened. Who knows? It does not have any bearing as to whether or not there's another person that was involved in the crime, although it's important to check it. But I think it should be noted and logged. But
I have a question then with that. Yeah. They used that blood dropping though that's on the banister and wall to actually compare when they wrote to get a search warrant for this other kid that lived in the Queen Road apartments right by them.
Yeah.
They said, oh, these droppings match, or this banister wall dropping of the blood matches what it looked like in the outside of this kid's apartment, in order to get a search warrant to go in and look into his bathroom where there was then, spatter in there, whatever. So the only reason I bring it up is because the investigators used it to obtain a search warrant by them saying that that was important to them. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's important. You have to look at every piece of evidence. Um,
okay,
just because you evaluate the evidence, I say, one of the possible, I mean, one of the things you have to do is you collect and analyze all the evidence. Not all the evidence becomes relevant to your case.
so I look at it as like this is just a prime example of the cops will do and say anything to get a search warrant.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the cops, listen,
Well, because if it really doesn't have anything to do with it, then why would you be
well, but they
making?
don't know that prior to doing it, right? So it's more of kind of like net fishing. They're just trying to collect up everything, and then you go through and you try to find the one that you want, or try to find the one that you need. But if there was, I'm listening. I don't want to. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation with regard to that, and the fact that Brian pleaded not guilty or
Oh no,
pleaded guilty.
yeah, 100.
The fact that he pleaded guilty, uh, and it doesn't look like anybody's looking for a second killer. But I think maybe
Yeah.
originally they might have been.
Um. Well, here's another photo. This is from Xana's room. So the room that I just showed you, where they had the gravity droppings right there as you enter the room. This is going to be immediately to the right. She had a desk here. Okay. And then what's blurred out in the top, that's just the mirror. And it actually is showing the reflection because Xana's body's in the middle of that room right there. But what I want to show you here is I was very curious of this, a couple things here, which is this Coors Light case with that, what seems to be like a transfer. And then that's a Taco Bell bag. And they're like with that hoodie inside out with the tag that has blood. What do you see? Can you determine anything? Or maybe I should show you the other picture of like the bed and then kind of like the pooling and then go to this. But does this say anything to you or what you would be like, okay, I'm interested to see?
I don't know if that's blood or not.
Oh, like up so
Course on the course box.
to the up on the hold on, let me make it bigger for you. Up
Well, it doesn't matter if you make it bigger. I can't tell from a picture if that's blood on the course box. I don't know what that
okay.
is.
Like where the C is up to the left.
Yeah, no, I see what you're talking about,
Oh,
but
okay. You're
I
saying
tell you,
you're
I
saying
can't tell you.
I don't know right now. Okay, got you.
I can't tell you if that's blood. I can if you tell me to assume that it's blood.
Okay, so let's assume that's a
I
good way
don't
to.
know. It's just like the Taco Bell bag. I don't know if that's blood on the Taco Bell bag or if that's like hot sauce. How do I know?
Okay. Well, so hey, let's assume it's blood for like our experiment.
Okay.
Would you be like, what do you? Would you be like, okay, that's. Um, would you want to see like the other side of the room to then
Well,
come back to that?
I'm not sure I understand what your question is.
How would the? How would you? What kind of? If that was blood, what would that be from? How would that be there? It's uh
Where's this in proximity to the bodies?
the Xana's body's to the left in the middle of the room.
Can you zoom out?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. So this is right here on her. Okay, so this is her desk. And see that's like a rug that black and white, it's on the ground, the rug.
Yeah.
So if you go to the left of and down to the left of that picture right there, Xana is
in the blurred area.
Well, yeah, because she's the blurred part off the mirror there, so like, that's why they're blurring out the mirror because it's a reflection.
Oh,
But she's in the middle, kind of right.
Yeah, I mean that could be Xana's hand, and that could be from the victim.
Okay. So like I got you.
She's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like her hand could reach both those areas, so that could be her.
Yep. Okay. And then here's the this is the same room, and this would be, let's see, if we go like this.
What was what was on top of that desk?
Oh, what do you like the laundry and the clothing? Nothing.
On top of that desk up there. There's like a card and stuff.
Let me pull that back up. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it.
Okay, sorry. Here you go. Sorry about that. Yep. It is.
So
So
low here for a second.
yeah. Do you
There,
want me to zoom?
there's a calculator. There's a driver's license, and what's that next to the driver's license?
It's a rolled up $2 bill. It was. I think they had crushed up Adderall.
Oh, okay. And then
Um,
what's that bottle?
it's like a bath bath and body work spray. You know.
What's that blurred out next to it? Do we
Yeah,
know?
that's what I think the blue crushed up stuff is, and they just blurred that out
Why would they blur
because,
that out?
yeah,
And then there's another like
I
aloe
think that's
vera.
tanning.
What's that purple thing?
Well, I thought it was tanning lotion that's like indoor to use like a tanning bed,
Uh,
because of the stuff that was next to it. But I mean, Xana doesn't seem like she was the type to go tanning. She's really white.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
was like, I have no idea, but
Could be candy or something. I don't know.
yeah. So there's a hoodie,
Okay,
and
so
then
there's so
I,
there so they were doing drugs there, I guess, huh?
well, they said there was no drugs in their system that was illicit. So,
Oh, okay. Illicit.
um,
What does illicit mean?
well, they said illegal, I guess, no illicit drugs. So, but they said that you couldn't. If I have a prescription for Adderall, you can't say that I was doing drugs. You know
Oh,
what I
if
mean?
you snort it, you're not allowed to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I
Oh,
guess.
condom wrapper. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's what we thought at first, but the condom wrapper is way too long.
It could be a 2-pack. I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's not zoomed in, and it's
Yeah,
it's
look
got
at the
blurry stuff.
bottom. Look at the code bar. Like this is your condom wrappers does not have this big code bar.
Oh, I
That's
don't
a
know.
one
I read
package.
somebody's comment in the comments.
Oh yeah, it looks like a condom wrapper at first, but then when you zoom in and you dissect that,
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah,
it's
well,
not.
it's something related to the activity that seems
It
to be
could be a
going on.
blunt wrapper,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
a
Yeah,
black and mild.
rapper. Yeah, sounds good. Not that it matters. It's just, I mean, we're looking at the crime scene, right? We're looking at the blood photographs, but it's important. And I see some
That's a
comments.
magnum. Just kidding.
Maybe, but we see some comments, in the thing with regard to where did you get this Yahoo?
I don't-
I don't like. How do you turn my comments off? Some of these people in here are so toxic.
Oh yeah, we ignore them, and after they make a stupid comment, they get timed out.
It's distracting because I look and I see some nice comments, but then there's some real. Thank you for turning the comments off. That's so
Yeah.
annoying. I apologize to the people out there that are cool, but there's some douchebags in there.
Trust me. And when we see the people's names that say it, they're never in here, then we know it's someone that's trolling. That's why I don't even pay it. I don't even.
All right, good. Yeah, because I'd rather just talk to you than worry about what
Yeah.
randoms are saying.
So I just noticed though that on this desk, you don't see any like blood. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see any blood droplets on it or like.
No, it doesn't look like it's related to the crime itself, but it looks like it's related to the activity that was going on in the room prior to the crime being committed. That's
Yes.
the only reason I was bringing that up. Let's move on to the next photograph.
Yep. Okay. Cool. I would agree with you on that because I was wondering why there was even a case in there. If it's actually Ethan's, why isn't it in the fridge? I mean, he basically lived there the
Yeah,
day that I'm on
that
the
is
heavy.
part of the course thing to the taco bag. It's probably from Xana's hand.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go ahead and I'm going to switch gears to put on now. Again, I just want to give a kind of trigger warning here. I'm going to be showing the bed. And this bed had they have it blurred out, but it also has. Hold on, I want to get the right one that I want to use. Let me see.
Yeah, one guy in the comments said, "Who is this Yahoo?"
Say yo, daddy.
Yeah, who is this Yahoo? That's funny. I mean,
Oh,
I
here,
think
just because I have this up, you may know what this is. So because I wanted this was on my like list of questions because it's just me. This is my personal question. What is this person using? What is this device?
okay, it's loading.
So once it loads for you, what is
Zoom out for a
the
second.
okay? Did it?
Yeah, there we go. What is that device? Well, it looks like you've got it's a full. Let's see, that's a handle. Why is it? What's all those black spotches all over the photograph?
Oh, because it was taken from outside. This was a media photograph before they
Oh,
closed the windows. They zoomed in, and so those are like the leaves from outside, and so they zoomed in to try to get like a picture. And then they
I see. I see. Um, I mean, off the top of my head, I really don't know. I think
Yeah,
it's
so I was like, I
possible
was like,
that
what the heck?
it's possible that uh, they are uh, putting out dust for fingerprinting, so you can spray like
Ah, okay.
dust, so
Yeah,
it makes fingerprints illuminate
yeah. I
readily.
got you.
Could be related to that, but I don't know exactly. That's just my guess.
Okay.
But
And this was done, I think, a couple weeks even after because they kept the scene for a while. Okay, that was just, let's move on. That was just me over there like,
yeah, I could do some research and find out. But I just had hold on. I just have to return this message real quick because I have a murder
oh,
case.
you're good.
I have a murder case in California that I have to go to later this week, and they just wanted to do a question real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
All right,
this.
all right, I'm ready. Yeah, didn't seem like anybody was interested in hearing the comments on on my opinion on Brian Koberger. All right, let's just stick to the murder pictures, baby.
Oh, you're fine.
No, we'll go strict discipline, and I will say no comment on anything that is not
Well,
strict.
no, I mean, I think that it's accurate. Anybody, if you're pleading guilty to this, then you would have to ask yourself, okay, he's pleading guilty. Well, what type of killer is this guy? Was he, if
It's
he's
cold
pleading
blooded.
guilty to it? Yeah. So I'm curious on that. So I
Yeah.
don't care if
I mean,
people say, I want to know
what I
about
was
that shit.
what I was leading to is that if you guys are
Oh,
interested
here.
in
You
a
were right about the dog, Scott. Look at this. Check this out. Murphy was hiding, but Murphy was allegedly on the bed, just chilling at first with the door open, didn't go to any of the bedrooms allegedly. And here Murphy was found. See how you could see Murphy's paw down there? Went
yeah,
after the cops came in, then they left, and then they took these pictures when they returned. So they
yeah,
shut the door just in case. But Murphy was laying on the bed. Um, the dog was heard barking at like 4:17 until like 5 o'clock in the morning. And they said that the dog was barking from outside, and then obviously was somehow it came inside, but didn't get any blood. Like there was no blood on the dog, but they didn't test the dog. They just eyed it up, and then the Humane Society lost the dog.
yeah.
It was just wild type stuff. But you called it when you said that the type of breed would be scared, and here Murphy is.
Yeah, this is not the kind of dog you get if you want an attack dog. If they would have had a German Shepherd, a Rottweiler, a Pit Bull, one of them might have lived.
Oh, because
That's
of
right.
the
Don't get toy dogs. Don't get toy
the
dogs.
dog would have. Okay.
If you're gonna get a dog, folks, get a real dog. Okay, get a German Shepherd. Get a Belgian Malinois. A Belgian Malinois will prevent you from being murdered. Hard stop. They will sacrifice their life for you without thinking. They would not hide. They will run at a bullet. Then
Really?
they'll take it for you. Yeah, Belgian Malinois, German Shepherd, Rottweiler are definitely the best breeds of dogs for protection. I have a golden retriever because I don't need protection. So
I
I
got my gun.
have a love dog. Yeah.
Okay, here's the next whoopsies. Here, so this is where the bed in Xana's room there, where Ethan and Xana were found. So Xana's on the floor, and then this is the bed with okay, so the part that's blurred out over here to the left is Ethan, but here is I'm trying to I don't know if you want me to zoom in, zoom out, but this is like the nightstand that would be like kind of next to the bed,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like moved, and I have another angle of it. But do you see anything from this that points out? Do you want to see the other shots that I have of it?
I mean, I see a bloody mess. What's your question?
Okay, so first question is over here to, I guess you can say, let's go right. We'll start up from down. I mean,
Yeah, we've got cast off there. Those are heavy cast off. But wait a minute, what is that? It's hard to tell what that is that possibly the knife going into the wall?
right there, those two like long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be a swing and a miss with a knife, possibly. Like,
Really?
yeah, it looks like knife impressions in the drywall, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's well that looks different than anything else we've seen.
Yeah.
I know that these pictures aren't the best of quality.
Well, and if it goes back out again,
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yahoo can figure it out. So, uh, boy, that really pissed me off. That comment. I apologize. I'm like, ugh. come meet me outside. How about that, bitch?
that's how we are over here. We just sass back, man.
God, if somebody said that to me in my face, I'd be so pissed. That's why I don't do live streaming because like I will like I'll crash out on people. All right,
You got
so but no, listen, we're good. We're good. The Lord is strong with me.
the Lord.
The Lord is strong with me. But no, it's possible. Those two above the bed. That I find
That's
it.
interesting. I
Yeah,
mean,
it could be something else. It could just be unrelated. But to me, they look like the size. I don't see any blood around it though, so that's just speculation. If you zoom out again so they can see the whole bed, please.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I have a different angle too.
No, that's fine. Let me look at this for now.
I can go back to like
Just
this.
the floor a little bit more. Just zoom it up a little bit. Not zoom up, but just scroll up. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, who died in this room?
This is where Xana and Ethan were, and Xana had 50 stab wounds, but most of them were defensive stab wounds. So
Yeah.
like she was in there, like her fingers were almost like severed off because
Yeah.
she like they said like that's well the narrative that law enforcement is saying is that Xana um heard the scream upstairs and then goes to go upstairs, walks in on that, and that's the reason that the knife sheath was left, and that Cobra then went running after her basically to chase her down. And then when he got into this room where he got to her, he sees that, oh God, there's another person in here. So then he, eliminates Ethan because he went straight for like the clavicle with, he hit, what was it? An artery up there.
Yeah.
And then he went for his legs.
You have your superior vena cava up here, which leads to your carotid artery. If you get your superior vena cava or your carotid artery, you're done unless you apply pressure.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But so like that's what they were like that he quickly tried to like incapacitate him to like stabilize him, Well, because they couldn't tell who was killed first, Xana or Ethan, based off of like you were saying earlier, if we could talk about the transfer of blood from victim to victim, but that's why they were just, they could not be definitive on that. And so I just think it's interesting because what you said tells me that this knife sheath, it wasn't an interruption, that he's, oh my gosh, now I got to run and go chase this person, right? And come down and.
No, I think she just fought back. Or,
huh?
I think she was just awake. I think he got everybody while they were sleeping, and where you see a struggle, those people were awake. And they probably woke up from the prior struggle. So they heard what's going on in the first murders.
Yeah, she was definitely awake because she just had gotten a DoorDash.
Right.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, this room has, so over here to the right with like everything, see the pooling on the nightstand on the bottom, and like the marks that are.
This is a heavy. That's I wouldn't call that pooling.
Okay, so would you call that a
that is a
wound? Like,
well, I mean, it's a could be just a severe arterial spurting.
Okay.
Because it's
like if Ethan was laying, let's say
it's a lot of blood, and it's a very interesting pattern. Well,
like, does it look like somebody was grabbing this with their hands, like on the side of it, like it was like somebody's? Because like I'm looking at like this, if Ethan was laying straight up and straight down on that side, the right side of the bed, okay, that would, where he ends up isn't necessarily where this all occurred, right? I mean, I doubt that he was laying diagonal on the bed that Xana and him were both in chilling until she got her DoorDash.
Yeah.
Where would she be?
I think that the best way to frame it is that there are wounds that are immediately causing you death, and then there are wounds where you will have purposeful movement after the wound, right? Uh, and then you struggle in between wounds. So this, to me, I think simply is just a murder scene where uh,
Okay,
we
so
don't know whose blood that is. But I'm not sure I understand what the point of it is. But the point of this photograph is, I mean, this is, you're looking at the scene where two people horribly died. Uh, and it's very sad. Um, I don't know how to answer any specific questions or what level of speculation you want from me regarding
oh yeah, no, I just
blood scene.
to me, you're like, first of all, let's eliminate this. This is definitely, there is no way that this is a staged crime scene. Is it staged?
No, this is not a staged crime scene. This is what a crime scene looks like. Yeah.
Like this wasn't, these bodies weren't put here, right?
No.
Okay. So
well,
good.
Bodies in this picture.
Well, Ethan on the bed and Xana on the floor, like it.
Okay.
To say,
but they're not shown in this picture, right?
Yeah. Here I'm going to show you a different one now. So hold on, let me get to this one. Does this make it any better to see anything?
I mean, just what I've already said. I mean,
okay.
I mean, yeah, there's a struggle going on. Whether it's hands, elbows, knees, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, what is it? What does this tell us about the nature?
Yeah, like what about this stuff on the back wall over here? Like, see where that's on like the board, like the.
I don't know what that is. That could be. I don't. It could be any. That looks like a crack in the floorboard.
Okay, you'd have to like see that specifically.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know what that is, and not sure what it matters. But what we see here is a complex mixed blood pattern crime scene where you have transfer stains, you have gravity droplets, you have cast off blood, you have blood from multiple victims that were in the room, and probably blood from victims not in the room, possibly even blood from the murderer himself. We see a struggle. We see people who had conscious fear of their imminent death with conscious pain and suffering. This is a horror murder scene. This is two people knowing they're going to die and struggling while they die, and somebody standing and killing and watching. It's just awful. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Do you? So you would have to see the autopsy probably to. Do you think that somebody would be screaming?
This is all mere speculation.
Yeah.
Without the interrelating evidence. Listen,
yeah.
And these people, the one comment said he doesn't know anything about this case. Listen, I'm not hired.
That's even better, in my opinion. You don't. It's not about knowing the case. It's about looking at the pictures and seeing.
I get hired to work on it. I'm not a fan of murder. I don't look at murder for fun. I look at murder for work for hire. Okay, that's my job.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of murder. I don't follow murder unless I'm on the case. So I'm giving you just a crime scene expert's opinion on what these scenes mean, as it might be relevant. But I mean, it's a horrible, bloody scene. It's horrible.
Would somebody be screaming in this during this altercation?
Wouldn't you be?
I mean, I would be, unless what would incapacitate you to like for Xana to have most of her 50 stab wounds that were
screaming. I mean, people can be so scared, they could almost have like a paralysis of their vocal cords.
Okay.
You can live and not scream. You can be scared out of your voice. Right?
Okay.
So we don't know anything about if somebody was screaming during the event. Certainly there were noises being made by both the killer and the victims, whether it's grunts or screams or please or no or stop or fuck or whatever. Who knows?
You brought up a great point. The killer making noises as far as like grunting.
Of course. I mean, even if you're not deliberately trying to say anything. Okay, when I played baseball for 30 years and I went up to the bat, I didn't say any word when I swung and hit the ball, but I certainly made a lot of noise swinging the bat trying to hit the ball.
Mhm.
Say anything though.
Gotcha. What type of smell would this have since the 911 call didn't come in until noon and this supposedly happened around 4 to 4:25? Would there be a lot of smell? How would you like, where would it be at in that
Tell you
point?
my experience when I've walked into bloody crime scenes. Uh, when it's hot, it smells
Okay.
like iron and dead flesh. It's awful. Uh, the first 5 times you see it live in person, you puke, and then you get used to it. Uh, this was in the wintertime. This was cold. I don't know what the heat is in the house. I would think that there would be answering the smell question is uh, interesting. It would be there would be all kinds of smells because the amount of I don't know. Do you know what happens to your body when you die?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as
Lose
like you're gonna,
control of all of your bodily functions.
yeah, so that's gonna go too.
So the smell. So yeah, awful. Yeah, it's going to be uh, what I would think hell smells like. It's going to be awful. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's just from experiencing it myself. It's awful. It takes your breath away, and if you're not an experienced investigator, um, you're gonna have a physical reaction to it, even if it's not hot. The visual sight of it being fresh, a couple hours old, whatever. I mean, it's it shakes you.
Okay. That I mean that makes sense. I would
I
think
wouldn't be
maybe
surprised if the police officers, and
they.
if I may comment about something that's not a blood photograph,
No, you're good.
okay,
You can comment whatever you want.
if you don't mind, let me. I mean, if it's okay with you, we can.
If it's okay with me, sure, we'll allow it right
That
now.
was you. I'm talking to that one guy who called me a Yahoo. I'm like,
Shit.
it's okay with you. Don't
If it's okay with you, sir.
mind. If you, I'm being crunchy. But what was I going to say? Oh shit, I forgot my point. Uh,
Oh, you were gonna talk about the cops that if they didn't. I think
oh
that
yeah,
some
no,
of them
no.
did puke.
I guarantee you, these cops went to therapy after this crime scene.
That's what they said that they had to get help.
Yeah.
And I would imagine. I mean, I would think that you weren't human if you were fine,
No, I mean, I walked in on a
especially
crime.
the young cops.
I walked into a crime scene on Phoenix, Arizona, and it was 120 degrees, no air conditioning, middle of the summer. There were 2 dead bodies and 3 dogs that were dead, and no electricity. I mean, it was, yeah, it was awful. It was
Yeah.
awful. I don't care how experienced you are, it's awful. It should not be glamorized in any way.
Yeah, no. Here's a question for you. Can you tell the height of the perpetrator with anything that you're seeing so far?
The height of the perpetrator.
Yeah, like
You
I
know,
would think that would be
you know how tall Brian Koberger is, don't we? Yeah. Let's see the height of the killer by this scene.
No, no, no. Well, like just what we've seen so far. Like
Oh,
you made a good point that if you jumped on the bed and you were like straddling with like your knees, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Would there be as far as okay, since there isn't cast off in certain spots that the killer was obviously where there should be that they're assuming a position where it got on them or
Oh,
you
the
know
killer definitely has blood all over him.
okay
Yeah,
so
but he was prepared.
yeah
He had to change the clothes. He
so
had.
and so this was like you said this took time this wasn't
Yeah,
would
this
you
is
think
not a wild killing. This guy picked out these girls because he felt slighted and so. And I'll mind you. I'm gonna do some profiling here.
yeah you can
But this is based on the crime scene, right? This guy picked out these girls specifically for some reason. I'm thinking because he was judging them in his own sick mind for what he believed to be something as an affront to him. If you remember, this is an incel, probably a virgin, definitely a nerd, right? I bet you this guy couldn't throw a ball from here to my fucking kitchen.
Okay, yeah, probably.
Why sports are important for your children, right? Don't let them play video games all day. They're going to turn
True. Get
into
him outside.
Brian Coburn. Get them the fuck outside and let them skin their knee. This kid is, he was cold blooded, and he prepared. He was prepared to do it calmly and coolly. And it was
How does
he
one prepare themselves for that, though, Scott?
have no emotion and be detached from society and be obsessive compulsive.
So, do you think that this at all screams to you so far that this person went in to kill one person and then ended up killing 3 additional people because, like, one thing led to another? He didn't expect Kaylee in the bed with Maddie,
I don't think it
and
was
that
personal with regard to any one person. I think he wanted to kill the people who live in this house. I don't think there was an obsession over one person over the other. I think he saw, for whatever reason, and I don't know the exact reasons because I don't follow the case as closely as you and your people, but
okay,
from a straight standpoint of looking at this guy was jealous or felt slighted about what was going on in that house with those girls. They're obviously young, cute girls, a lot of sexy stuff going on and whatnot. This kid's not allowed to be involved in that in some way or shape or form, or he's judging them for that, and he wants to kill them for that. I think he was once he knew that there were multiple
and
women.
so what
House.
does the crime scene?
He was going in that house to kill the women who lived there.
Okay,
How
how does the crime scene tell you that, though, is my question.
Well,
Like, is it just you're just profiling to say, like, hey, the person that ended up being the killer here, because you've always said this, like, back, we can go look at the first time me and you talked, you said, Lana, my profile is the BAU would say that the person was between the ages of, and you gave
it, but I'd say who the murderer was before we even knew who Brian Koberger was.
I mean, like, that's who they, obviously arrested,
yeah.
And who then pled guilty. So,
But yeah,
so you feel differently than, like, one person was the target and then 3 people ended up being killed because of the one person.
Well, we'll never know unless Brian gives a full confession, right? So we're just speculating. But based on what I know about Brian Koberger, which is more than nothing, okay? I know, and then
I love it.
based on what I know about the crime scenes, which is more than nothing, okay? And that's enough for me to give an opinion. I mean, with regard to what we're looking at here, we're speculating here, folks. This is not testimony in the court of law. I'm not under oath.
And we're only going off of, we have nothing to really go off of.
Entertainment purposes only.
Educational entertainment. Yep.
Yeah, we're spitballing here with regard to what I think it means based on what I'm looking at. And based on the crime scene photographs, what I know about the case, what I know about Brian's behavior, what's been documented, what I've read, we've done shows on this case before in the past as well, is that Brian Koberger was a disaffected incel person who fantasized about being a crime scene expert. Right? He was gonna be. If this didn't happen, he probably was gonna turn out to be. I think it's just my opinion, just speculation. Hope you're entertained by it. I think he wanted to be Dexter. He was trying to go and do the things to become Dexter, and he was trying to fulfill his fantasy by picking out a victim or victims that he felt deserved it in his fucked up brain. Obviously, nobody deserves this. I don't judge anybody for being young and having a drink and having sex. We're all young. We all had drinks. We all have sex. Not judging anybody morally on any of those grounds. I'm telling you about Brian Koberger and his sick fucking little brain OCDing over these girls that won't give him the time of day, or somehow insulted him or slighted him, or he was judging them from afar or obsessing of them from afar. And this sick man slowly, deliberately planned to take out their joy. That's what I think he was motivated by. And he did it because he's a sick fuck. And I think he was, if it wasn't these girls, he would kill somebody else. And I think he probably killed people before this, certainly dogs and animals and such. I think he worked his way up to this, but I think he practiced. I think he studied this. I think he almost got away with it.
Yeah, well, I think that he would have if I always say it's our rights that were violated. That's what I want to know more about. But it looks like it was something that would be that you would be getting away with. So here's a question. Moving on from that is this is the living room. It's a really tight living room.
Yeah.
They had this beer pong table that was set up right like this. And something that was interesting for me is in order to, so Dylan's room is going to be right behind, you know how it's like right off to the left of where those stairs are.
Yeah.
In order for this table, is what it would look like as these cups are knocked over. There's some spillage there. We all know how beer pong is played. But on the opposing side of the table, not a single cup is out of place. Okay. And I know as well as anybody that's ever had a solo cup standing up and you budge that table, it is going to fall over. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
At least
like,
on that side, what if those other ones still had beer in it?
well, and then I said that I was like, the only way that you could potentially say is if there's those cups have to be like significantly filled with beer to withstand it. So there's no blood that there was taken pictures of in this room. They were swabbing for DNA, I know, of the cups, but this would have to make the killer walk in a certain, like you have to, hey, I got to maneuver around this table, right? Okay. Or I'm bumping into it, but it's still directly straight on, looks like to me. I'll show you another angle, and to be able to get to where Xana's room is. And then, but the big thing is the path of travel that Dylan then, she's opening her door, and then she opens her door that third time, and she's standing there, and that's when she says that she sees the killer. And my question is with what goes with what you've been saying, is that why wouldn't she be dead? Like, how is that not the room? I mean, she was saying that she was yelling out. It's in her interviews that she was hearing people come up and down the steps. She was coming out saying, hey, she thought she heard Kaylee, you know, she carrying the dog up and down. And then she heard what she thought was Xana crying, and she's opening the door and then going back. And on the last time is when she opens it, and here the killer is just standing right there, which she said right there in that little pathway. And it's like, why would Dylan still be here? And Bill Thompson said because he'd already been in there too long as it was, and he needed to get the fuck up out of there. And that's why he ran out the door, ran out the side or the back patio door to then hurry up, run, get in his car, and then, you know, sped off and drove away, where he's almost getting in a wreck coming around the turn. And this all supposedly happened within like a 7-minute period from the time he gets into the house, stabs and kills 4 people, you know, then has to get to his car. And you said he'd be covered in blood.
He changes it probably before he even gets out of the house.
So you think he changes?
Yeah.
Where would that occur?
I don't know.
Or would he have wrapped it? Remember we talked about this before? You're like, I would love to see what happens in his car.
He had his regular clothes on, and then on top of the clothes, he had like throwaway scrubs and throwaway shoe covers with gloves, right, and a mask and all that shit, right? So after most of the murders are done, and he comes downstairs to leave, where he bumps the table to leave, and this is not a violent bump. This is just a tap. He just taps it with a bag or whatever. And the girl's screaming, right? But he's already taken his clothes off, so he can't afford to get more bloody. So he lets her go. That's a victim that gets away out of convenience because he already took his blood clothes off and stuffed it in his bag to take it with him. So he can't put all that shit back on to kill her. Because remember,
that would make sense to me that he actually went in there with a bag to then stuff everything in.
He went in there with a bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A backpack on that was empty. And that backpack, he left it with that backpack that had his bloody clothes in it. He took his bloody clothes and bloody with him. And by the time he
100.
got to her, if we're going to speculate about her and why she survived, is because he had already taken his blood clothes off. And you can't commit another murder when you've already, because you can't have blood in the car, right?
Yeah.
You can't leave with blood. You can't be leaving bloody footprints all over the place, especially on your property. So you got to change before you get into your vehicle. So he changes in the house, probably, I'm thinking, at some place.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best actually thing that I've heard yet, because you have to explain the fact of why Dylan's alive and explain the fact that why there's nothing in his car, there's no transfer, there's no blood, there's no nothing. And how is that possible? Yeah, you could have wrapped your car beforehand, I guess, in plastic. Okay.
And that's why he's a fan of Dexter, because that's what Dexter does in his show. He shows
Yeah.
up covered, kills, takes them off, and then takes the shit with him. I'm telling you, this guy planned this. He was cool, calm, and collected. Nothing in this crime scene demonstrates that he wasn't prepared for what he came in contact with, except for the boy, because there was a struggle there, and that was a strong kid, right? But he caught them off guard. He caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, but and then I still question though that with everything that we're talking about here, there is no way this happened in 7 minutes. And
I don't know about the time. It's possible it could happen in 7 minutes. 7 minutes is a long time.
Would you to reenact this then? If I was like, hey Scott, let's try to reenact this where I want to see if you're moving quickly to go from room to room to room, right? To do this, is that how you would go about to see? Like, let's say that you were hired, and I was like, hey Scott, I want to hire you. I'm so and so's attorney. We believe that based off all these pictures, there's just no way that this could have happened in the period of time that they're saying, and for the scene to look the way that it is with what you're even saying by both bedrooms, there's no rush. Okay. And so how would you go about either disproving that? Like, how would you go with reenacting that?
Well, I would do it in the house, obviously, or in a reasonable facsimile, and then I would go through and I would simulate the behavior of how each person died, so that I could time it up sequentially in the house from entrance to exit, and the tracking of the vehicle and all of the data around, the crime scene. So if we're saying that all of these happen in 7 minutes, right? Well, then you go through and you simulate it to see how you can get it done in 7 minutes, and that'll tell you how hurried or not hurried it would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then would you compare that to what the crime scene photos look like when you're getting like different type of?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've done that same thing on cases.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you've done it.
So what you do is,
like the Oscar Joy's case, you did that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And how long does that take? Like for a scene like this, how long do you have to be like contracted out and like working on something where this has to cost a lot of money? This has to be like, I mean, you have to have.
I was hired by the prosecution to put together a forensic reconstruction on this case that included a scene visit and full animation on putting it all together, including making sure everything is biomechanically correct with the autopsy report, that behavior prior to death was documented and simulated, entrance, exit, and all behavior of the people. I mean, this is a $200,000 reconstruction.
Yeah, I would say, isn't it? It's got to be.
I would charge probably $200K for this if that was my assignment to do that. That would probably what it would cost.
Okay.
I mean, all of that with all of these.
Yeah, like everything.
And do it to the level where it's admissible in court, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I do that for like a TV show, yeah, maybe 20 grand, right? But but TV show, right? You don't have to lay the foundation like you do in the courtroom. And like if I did this for the courtroom, I'd be on the stand for probably a week explaining it, right? And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of hours of work to lay the foundation for all of this in this kind of a scenario. But that wouldn't be relevant to the proceedings.
Well, my question with that then is so it is significant that why the state would want to have that is because, hey, you're claiming that this happened in such a small period of time, right? And that then there was no blood in the car, right? All these things. How was a jury going to be able to wrap their head around that? And that's why it's almost like they would need somebody like you to explain how this could potentially have happened.
They would, but a lot of times they do without that because they depend upon getting the benefit of the doubt as the prosecutor. More typically,
isn't the defense supposed to get the benefit of the doubt?
But they do not.
So that's a problem with our justices.
Well, yeah, this is America. If we forgot that you do not get the benefit of the doubt as the defendant. The police get the benefit of the doubt, even though they have the burden.
Okay, so
get the benefit of the doubt, even though they have the burden. Listen, this is important. This is why there is so many guilty people sitting in prison, it's because the state, the judge, the prosecutor, and the cops, that's all one team.
Mhm.
Okay, they're all in the judge, the prosecutor, the
They
cop,
are.
the lab. They're all on the same team, right? They're not different entities. They all get a paycheck from the same government entity. They
Yep.
are all co-workers. The cop, the judge, the prosecutor, the crime scene investigator, the BCI guy. Those are co-workers.
I
They
agree.
are co-workers. The only person that, and even your criminal defense attorney,
If they're a public defender.
if they're a public defender, they're also co-workers, right? That's why you have guilty people in jail. And then
Or do you
they,
mean like innocent people in jail? What about that?
this is what'll happen. This is what happened at the point of trial. I'm going through this right now. I'm going through this right now. We got a public defender. We got a guy who could be go to jail for 30 years. He's currently in jail, not prison. He's currently in jail, not prison. So he hasn't gone to trial yet. And I love that big dog on Nancy.
I know, she's great. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you, Nancy S. Shake it.
Oh, girl. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. And
I think we answered that
before I
one.
made that joke, I was going to say something else. But the point I'm trying to make is, you know, where were we at before Nancy?
I know Nancy I'm sorry. You were talking about the fact that you're on a case right now that
Oh yeah, about the prosecution system and how it's not fair. So the prosecutors are putting $200,000, $500,000, probably $1 million of resources into prosecuting the case. And on the criminal defense side, they allotted me $3,000 as a crime. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Isn't that insane?
It's the weight of the California government. You're going to give me $3,000 to defend this guy? They set these people up for failure.
Yes, and it's just like, how do people not see this?
It's the prison industrial complex, and the front line is the DA.
Do you think that that's on the attorney for not like filing papers?
No,
Like,
it's on the defendant for being poor.
okay,
Don't
so you don't.
poor.
So
crimes, don't be poor.
Because we go back and forth with talking about like if a defense attorney, are they being lazy by not, hey, you can go get those funds if you have to file the right paperwork and then you're going to get the money to have this, that, and the other. But if you don't do that work, or
not always, because so on this case, the public defender did a good job. He went to the judge and he said, hey, we need Scott Roeder to do a reconstruction on this case. It won't be fair if we go to trial without it. He's like, okay, you're right. What's Scott's rate? $600 an hour. I'll pay him $100. That's how they, so either they're going to make me invest my personal money to defend somebody I don't know, which I don't do, although I have done, but I try not to do. Otherwise I wouldn't be in business.
Like, how does anybody pay bills?
Right. That's why criminal work is dodgy. Most of my work is civil cases. The criminal cases are tough unless you have a private pay client. Getting paid by the public defender's office to defend, and they're coworkers, right? And I think it's well intentioned, but the way they appropriate the funding for somebody to be defended is not equal with how they appropriate the money and resources to prosecute that person. It's not a fair fight. And it should be a fair fight, but it's not a fair fight. I'm sorry. And there's a lot of people in jail simply for the fact that they were poor or that they were bamboozled into taking a plea bargain because the coworkers needed to leave early to go have happy hour.
Yeah, exactly.
How it goes, yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like, I mean, you nailed it right there. That's exactly what's happening. And so I feel like even when you are innocent, like it's like you said, you're not getting the benefit of the doubt as the defendant as you should be. That's who's supposed to be getting the benefit of the doubt with is like beyond a reasonable doubt, and they're not. And instead, you're walking into courtrooms as just because I was accused and arrested, I'm guilty, and I have to prove my way. And I would need somebody because like I was going to do devil's advocate with you because I love it when people say, hey, well, let's flip it. How would you prosecute the case? Well, let's say that. How would you possibly say, what would you try to prove in this case? What do you think would be the best angle to because Ann Taylor got people, and they said that this is a multiple person, multiple weapon, and that there was a cleanup involved, and it was staged in the term of, we didn't get to see that report yet. Hopefully, it gets released. But what would you do?
Wait, who said it was a multiple person, multiple weapon?
The defense team, they had their experts say that it was a multiple weapons, multiple people, because Xana and Ethan were killed at the same time, and then it was that it was a cleanup job after the fact, and then because there was a latent print that was cleaned up there right in the foyer, and like they had listed like their reasonings, and they were having these experts already had disclosed their reports, all the stuff's ready to go. They reenacted like the crime scene, and then there's issues with actually the time of the crime, with then there's deleting of messages back and forth. So anyways you slice and dice it. Let's say if we play that devil advocate with you, what do you think the best with what you've seen here so far is how you would attack this case if you had to defend Bryan Kohberger?
Oh, if I had to defend him?
Yeah. Like what do you see that's potentially like, okay,
like as a lawyer or a crime scene?
Oh, well, as a crime scene, like, is there any thing that you see here that would be in your best interest to say, hey, if they're saying that you went into that house at 4:10, 4:09, something like that, 4:08, and then you were out of that house by 4:17?
Well, to me, the best way to defend this case from a legal standpoint and from a scientific standpoint is not on the merits of the case, but on the efficiency and sophistication of the process of collecting and analyzing and preserving the chain of custody. So here's how you say it. There's a great example on this case is very similar to the O.J. Simpson case. Okay, so O.J. Simpson killed and slaughtered Nicole Brown and the waiter guy.
Yeah, Ron Coleman.
In cold blood, practically cut off the one guy's head because they were, having sex and drugs with each other and all that. There's jealousy. So OJ came in, he murdered them both. And
I think it was his son, but go on.
No, it was OJ. And he was dead to right. His DNA was everywhere and all of it. But how did he win that case? Because he hired Dr. Henry Lee, my former professor and living legend, and other experts to demonstrate that the police, even though they didn't need to because they had enough evidence, but because they're idiots and they have huge egos and they wanted to stack the deck, planted and placed certain evidence. So once you catch the police or the prosecutor lying about one thing, then you can, which you can usually, because they usually do lie about something, either intentionally or accidentally. But then you take that one thing, saying they planted blood on the back of the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
On his socks.
It wasn't preserved properly. Mm-hmm. And then you can say, well, if you didn't preserve that properly, you didn't preserve anything properly.
Yeah,
if you
you're contaminating.
Blood, you planted all the blood. If you planted that knife, you planted all the knives. It doesn't mean the argument is true. It just is holding them accountable for their omissions or their mistakes. And I think the
riots probably helped OJ as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think that was after, though. I'm not sure.
Well, I think all of that was going on with like the Rodney King beating and
I don't know the timeline.
Mark Furman and being racist and
plus it's LA. It's very criminal.
Yeah, it was very
friendly.
But talk about a wild case. It was 9 months, a case for 9 months, and like it was just like literally. I remember watching that. It was like a soap opera.
Here's the real reason why we should all hate OJ is because OJ is responsible for giving us the Kardashians. That is the biggest blight.
There you go.
Civilization.
Right? Hey, now Kim Kardashian, though, she's helping, innocent, wrongfully accused people, which I'm a fan of. So now I'm like,
I'm a fan of that too. But the way she's doing it is she's an.
I'm glad she got away from Kanye West. So.
No, I think Kanye got away from her.
That's true. Now he just parades around, what's her name, and makes her wear nude outfits that are out of this world.
They're all They're
Like
all controlled by MK Ultra.
MK,
They're
that's a
all
whole nother case.
no. It's for
Do you
real.
think Brian is MK Ultra?
No, I think Brian's just a fucking nerd that couldn't get laid.
Could there be any way that he's MK Ultra to you?
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, but for
Not
what?
because that's her name.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say no, but Brian is.
You like how I just
if
tossed you that little like woo, little curveball right there.
if Brian was, if this happened in the '90s, Brian would have been wearing a long black trench coat in a Batman movie.
You're just so stereotypical right there, man.
You know
Like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, Brian, I don't think, unless somebody intervened in Brian's life when he was 10 years old, I think this was his destiny.
Here we go. Here's one.
You can turn the comments back
here,
on.
Scott, have you ever heard this? Does Scott use no more strings when doing reconstruction work?
Oh, no, I use strings. Oh, I love strings. I think, especially when doing blood work.
Okay.
There's a beautiful string method that we do where we build like a post with a wire.
Okay.
A metal post with and then off of it are like little prongs off of it, like a naked Christmas tree.
So you take okay.
So, and you put it at the height of the victim, right?
Okay.
So if somebody was standing here and they got shot, and they got shot here, and the blood's everywhere, and then you have another thing, and you take the string and you put it with a pin on every droplet, and then you tie that string based on the directionality to the post, and it'll show you the blood. It's really it's a great method, and I use it still to this day.
Do you have I can talk to you off of this. Do you have any pictures of you ever like creating that in the past that like I could show?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I'll get that from you because that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that so? What do they? So if you didn't use the string method, what is now being used? Is that like when they talk about like Faro scans, or is that like what are they when they're trying to do that? What are they using as far as digital
for blood reconstruction?
Yeah, are they doing anything with that?
Well,
trying to answer her question just so I can get.
We have software where we map the blood.
Okay.
And once we do a texture mapping of the blood, and then we can put it into 3D, and then so we can do that string method in a 3D environment, and that's how it's easier to do it if you don't have access to the actual crime scene, and sometimes time, money, whatever prevents you from being there physically in the scene, so you can do it digitally. So if you don't do it live with the string, you can do it digitally.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the Delphi case, the Richard Allen case?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Have you ever been contacted by anybody to work that case?
No, I have not.
And you do post-conviction work, right?
I do a lot of it, yeah. We had a very big success last year. The case of Christopher Dunn in St. Louis, Missouri, in jail for 33 years for a murder conviction in 1989. I'm sorry if I'm eating.
I love it. You like this is my JLR moment. Go ahead, JLR.
Brought to you by Starbucks, proud sponsor of genocide. I said maybe Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just kidding.
That was a big topic the other day.
Try to go Dunkin' Donuts and look at this esoteric symbolism right here.
Look at that! How damn dare you!
The demon. Right there. Anyway,
I'm not a coffee person, so like I don't.
I need cappuccino.
There you go.
Regular business, and it was early today. So anyway, I guess what am I trying to say?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Do I answer this question? Could a jealous drunk ex of
what do you think about that?
Such is it possible unalived? Just say murder. Is it possible the murderer, the unaliver? That's
a killer.
That should not be. I would put this question back up. I didn't finish.
Oh, you didn't get it all? Oh, sorry. Here, I'll read it. It's like, could a drunk? I'm sorry. Could a
murderer carried out some not their drop victims in a home? Wait, no, absolutely not. No.
It's okay.
Not in this case. That would be crazy. I mean, I've seen that happen before, but I don't think that can happen here. Not based on what the evidence that I've seen, though. But
Okay.
a very interesting, creative question, though.
Yeah. This is from the top of the stairs, like on stair like 1 or 2 when you get to the top to go into the living room from the bottom.
Uh-huh.
And this is what it, just looked like here. And it's in the middle of the room. Let me go back to this lovely pic that we had. Oh God, where did I put it? That's a book bag just laying in the middle.
Okay.
Okay. And then right to the left of it, that's a sock. And one of the victims, Kaylee, had only one sock on.
Yeah.
And so it was just interesting that there was one sock here and that she was missing one. And we haven't gotten any reports to say that other sock was actually in the room or where it was found. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that.
So this was what the living room.
Yeah, like so this is like coming up from the stairs. So it was taken at an angle where the
How many
stairs is like.
people were they having a party this night? How many
Well, they
people
had
were
a.
there?
Well, that's under. Yeah, that's. They had a. What was I gonna say? They were having a party basically beginning Friday at noon until, it. They were probably just gonna clean everything on Sunday morning. It was like they had people over on Friday night. Then they had a uh then Saturday morning they had the football game, so they were like pre-gaming at their house and they went to tailgate, but they didn't go to the game.
Yeah.
Then they came back, then they went to the bars. So it was like just flowing all weekend, and then that's but yeah. I'll show you the kitchen as well. Let's see, I think I have queued up some pictures here of that. I wanted the other angle of the cups though too, so hold on. I think I want this one. Oh no, not that one. Oh no, not that one either. What's the date there? Okay, this one. Okay, here we go. So
Okay, no. I'm here, but in voice
yeah, I hear you.
for a little bit.
You're good. So here's the other angle of so heading into like Xana's room, so you could see like as people would come up those stairs. This is the other side of the beer pong table. And I'm sorry, I've been playing beer pong my whole entire life since I was of age, probably a little bit before I was of age. And that table, literally for those to be
that's perfect. No.
perfect. I'm sorry, but I don't believe anybody bumped into that table. And if they did, that they were there, those cups would be gone on the ground.
Well, do we know if those are empty?
No, not from this angle.
No.
And
mean,
so
so perfect like that, I feel like there's still alcohol in them.
I know, but like that means that somebody would have skunked the other team. You're throwing. But so down that hall, that's why it's like blurred out there. That's where she's like Xana's in the middle of the room right there. And I don't think that necessarily Xana was that struggle began there. I think that Xana ended up there based on the pictures that we have then seen from the room. What is your thoughts on that?
What's hard to tell? Is there blood on the floor there?
Yeah, it's that, but it's also the black.
Out, I can't really see it.
It's the black carpet, so it's like kind of like mixed in with the carpet, and then it would leak out from it and going towards then the mirror.
Okay,
if that helps.
So there's blood on the carpet or no?
Yeah, there's blood on the carpet, and then it like. But that door was halfway kind of open, and
yeah, I mean that definitely. She definitely ran then. She definitely got injured and then ran. Unless he's so covered in blood, he's dragging blood with him as he's going toward her. But but we don't have a good blood mapping of whose everybody's blood was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult to tell.
So yeah, this is just our preliminary. Like this is what we kind of have.
I think it's a good start. I think this tells us a lot about what happened. I think my main takeaway is Brian was prepared and was slow and deliberate and did this and executed it almost perfectly, with the exception of
how does he leave the knife sheath? Like if you went in there with the knife sheath on your knife?
Could have fell off his belt buckle. I don't know. Could have came off in a struggle. It could could have is prepared. Here's the thing: there's no such thing as a perfect crime. You're always gonna. It's called low cards principle, and low cards principle is basically in every room you walk into, you will leave something behind and you will take something with you. It is a scientific fact, especially while committing a crime, right? In this case, he left the sheath behind. I think that's reasonable, even if you are planned, and it could have been an inadvertent oversight that he left it behind and didn't take it with him. Obviously, that's a mistake. That was a huge mistake that allowed him to. One of the main reasons why he got caught because his fingerprint and the blood was on it.
Well, yeah, they haven't. They didn't say his fingerprint was on there. It was.
Oh, his DNA was taken.
Yeah, yeah. Just that they said his DNA was underneath the button snap part.
Mitochondrial DNA matched with the father from the garbage over in PA. So it was.
Wouldn't you realize that your knife, that you when you're leaving, that your knife.
I don't know, next time I murder a bunch of people with a knife, I'll let you know.
When do you think he would have realized that? Like,
at what point?
I stuffed everything in this bag, right? When I
yeah.
And I was stuffing everything in this bag. I just don't realize that but it makes sense. So if you thought that it was on your belt loop, right?
Yeah.
Then
it could have broke off. I don't remember what it looked like, if it was in still in perfect condition, or whether it had a belt loop or it didn't have a belt loop, or maybe it was a clip. It could have been a clip to you, and he pulled it off and it came off. I mean, an innumerable number of reasons on how or why it could have got left behind. And I think that being one of the few mistakes he made, is one of the reasons why he got caught.
Well, yeah, that's the only reason. I mean, the sheath, in my opinion, is you're not going to be able to bring charges on him based off of what else they had. They would have never got to him, in my opinion. They can say, Payne can say all day that they would have, okay, he would have been a suspect because he drove a white Elantra, I guess, if you want to narrow it down like that. But I don't know how you're going to convict somebody.
I think he was too weird to get away with it. I think if you got him, well, this is one of the mistakes that led to him being caught and his kind of cold, dead eyes, right?
Now, if the sheath was actually tucked under the blanket under the victim, do you think there's any way possible that the sheath was planted? Would you need to see the sheath and the blood, or what would you need? Could you argue that if I was like, Scott, dude, I didn't kill these people, man. I don't know how this fucking happened, but I'm not the one. Would you be like, you're fucking crazy? Or would you say, well, I don't even tell you.
The burden is on him then to prove that it was taken from him somewhere. But he couldn't make that argument, I don't think, in this case, because he'd have to say that there was a conspiracy to set him up for the crime. And I don't see any possible conspiracy going on here. And I love conspiracies, and I unweave and unravel conspiracies all the time. This case, I think, is an exceptional case in that it's rare.
Well, I could give you the information that leads somebody to think this is a little wild, but I'm with you on the fact of the whole framing him type of thing. He would have to, hey, I was working on this thing and I was getting ready to expose the X, Y, and Z, or I used to work for these people, or I was doing drug buys with these undercover. I mean, there would have to be some type of a story that where, hey, this was possibly committed by, I think this was potentially, there was more than one person, based off of the scene and the time.
I think the crime scene would be more chaotic if there was two people. And it's very difficult to get a 2-person murder team together, right? Like I can't even fill out an extra spot on my bowling team, let alone recruit somebody to go murder. Okay. So let's get a murder team together, folks. Who's in? In for some murder?
Yeah, I mean, and then two can't keep. What does it say? One of what do they say? 2 or 3 can't keep a secret. So
yeah, and if you're gonna, and if he was trying to recruit somebody to help in murder, that's a great way to get caught, right?
What if Brian was actually trying to frame somebody?
Well, they did a pretty shitty job, and he's stupid as fuck. Because who's he trying to frame? I don't get that.
Well, if he was trying to frame like Brent Kapaka, or which is the guy that ended up getting shot and swatted a couple weeks after this.
Okay, but
Um,
but but
well, because it was like to
up murder 4 innocent people to frame somebody.
well, no, if it was like a more of like a backup, like, hey, you're trying to commit the perfect murder, right? And so if I'm doing all these things, and then I'm gonna send the cops down some. I mean, you should hear what the
I mean,
freaking these.
if I'm gonna try,
Hey, Howard Bloom thinks that Brian brought in a vial of blood of 2 other people and put it in the crime scene at different places. I mean, like,
that's
what?
pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I mean, if I to put my murderer to put my unaliver mask on for a second.
Yeah, right.
Hold on, let me put my unaliver mask on.
1 second.
Yeah, hold on. And I wanted to carry out a murders with a knife in the middle of the night in an area where I live as being a crime scene expert, and I want to blame it on somebody else and get away with it. I'm going into somebody's bedroom and getting their hair off of their brush, and I'm taking it with me and I'm dropping their hair at the crime scene.
Yeah, like you're gonna.
Yeah. Based on your training experience, what about this crime scene would disprove the theory of an experienced prison gang enforcers being the ones who committed these atrocities? Wait a minute. What about this crime scene would just?
There's rumors out there of the Aryan nations that this was a.
Let me hold on. Let me read this. What about this crime scene would disprove the theory of experienced prison gang enforcers? Prison gang? What is a prison gang?
Like the people from the it's the Aryan nations people of the air
jail?
Yes. Like that they're out
are getting enforcers on the outside?
Yeah, it's because if these kids were CIs and ratting people out, or if their parents were CIs and ratting people out, is there anything that you would say?
Experienced prison gang enforcers. I mean, you don't have to disprove the theory. You have to prove the theory, right? Like if somebody had a theory, like I could say to you right now that I have a theory. Okay, so the best way to explain that is this. I was working on a crime scene in San Jose, California, and I was being cross-examined by this very talented Harvard-educated lawyer, right? And this guy said, and why would Aryan Nation hire a guy named Koberger?
No, they're saying that he wasn't the one that was hired. Like it's that basically the police were just looking to get anybody, okay, and that it was just they wanted to cover it up that what truly was going on here is drugs.
But you have to look at the philosophy in a backwards way, right? So you can't prove a negative,
exactly,
right? But you can prove a positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that would be, there is no way to disprove that somebody hired somebody to kill these people, but there's no evidence to say that there was, right? Mm-hmm. So I've not seen any evidence that. I mean, this is a bit heavy speculation. I appreciate it though, but I want to work through it because I don't want to dismiss it, right?
Okay.
I think it's an important question, and I think it deserves to be answered thoroughly. So I was testifying on the case in San Jose where the cops are cross-examining me on the stand. I'm defending the family of this girl who got killed by the police. And they're saying, well, maybe the ejected shell casing bounced up, hit the moving car, came back and rolled under the thing, and the door was open slightly, and that's why the trajectory looks like he was shooting at a car running away. And I say, okay, it's possible that I'm a hologram and I'm not live in the courtroom sitting here. That technology exists. Mm-hmm. I could be a hologram. I saw Prince as a hologram on stage one time. I could be a hologram, but it's not probable.
Yep.
I don't need to prove possibles. Possibilities are not, and theories and hypotheses are not relevant for the courtroom. And when somebody comes at me with a contradicting hypothesis, it doesn't matter what's possible. It matters what's probable.
Exactly. I say it all the time.
That's how I would answer that. And that's a great question. But that's how I would answer that in the courtroom. Anything's possible, but we're not here to put somebody in jail possibly. We're here to put somebody in jail because of probabilities,
Yeah.
and it's about uh, probable doubt. And if that hypothetical um, was a probable doubt, then there needs to be evidence,
Yeah.
documents, phone calls, something that would link one thing to the other. But that to me
You would need
sounds
a lot of people talking, in my opinion.
you would need a lot of evidence to even bring that up in the courtroom without a total objection from the judge.
Yeah, well, that's like where it comes in. Like we're gonna go with a third party culpability, type of thing, and you need to have a nexus. And
Oh,
so,
Moto Man MX, what a great suit.
oh,
Okay, great. Let me.
he's a good
Although
dude,
I would have gone with a gray tie. So
right?
anyway, Scott, I'm just kidding. You look good. Scott, how would you wind down mental? Oh, Scott, how do you wind down mentally after being immersed in blood and gore and being stuck in a case like this? It must have some sort of effect on your mental health. Are you concerned about me? Actually, I'm just kidding. You're right. It does. And I've been doing this for 27 years, and I'm not afraid to say I've sought the professional help of mental health experts in the past. I have counselors that I trust and that I love and give me good support. I also surround myself with people that love me and care about me and help me and give me the room to be okay and to sometimes cry and uh, sometimes let it out, right? But
Mhm.
as far as how do I relax and wind down mentally, I like to play golf. I like to go swimming with my dog, and I like to spend time with my two grandsons. Um, I love being out in the sunshine. I love being out in nature, and
Yeah.
I love music. I love going to concerts, and um, but that's how you wind down. And you have to have a separation mentally when you're in this kind of a business for um, uh, doing crime and murder reconstruction. You have to have a Chinese wall set up for when you're working and it's not emotional. And then when you're not working, you try to set it down. And you have to have that demarcation. And then we got another great question to follow up from.
Yeah, that was a follow up for you. That's why I wanted to give it to you.
Is it? Oh, Ariana. I thought it was Arian, the vegetarian Aryan, like Aryan Nights. I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I apologize for not being more specific. I'm joking. I apologize for not being more specific. As far as weapons typically used in prison, shivs, and knowing what organs are going for. Okay, well, here's the thing about a shiv, and I've actually worked on several cases of prison murder by way of makeshift shiv. And usually the blade on a shiv is about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. That's not deep enough to reach any organ except for the carotid artery in the neck or
Okay.
possibly the wrist. Okay. So typically, death by shiv is death by 1,000 cuts. So I did a case where this guy was in prison with this other guy, and he literally had to stab the guy 77 times, where he died from the accumulation of wounds rather than the depth or severity of any one wound.
Hmm.
So death by shiv is almost hard on the murderer because think about stabbing somebody 77
Oh yeah.
times, right? Rather
Yeah.
than with one long knife, we strategically. So if you're going to kill somebody with a shiv in prison, you're going to go for the neck. And usually you can't get to the neck because they cover up and they go like this. So you stab them here and here and here to get them to come down.
Okay.
So if you're getting stabbed by a half-inch blade, you're protecting your neck, and you're going like this, and you're getting 1,000 cuts everywhere until they can get you to bring your shoulder down to get you to the neck.
To get here.
Sorry if that was
Interesting.
graphic, but
No, that's like,
death by shiv right there.
yeah.
Number one.
Um, question here, and I was saving this because this is just gonna. Okay, so one of the girls who was on the bottom level
Yeah.
at she says in her interview, she's like, hey, I hear a firework, like a firecracker go boom, go off. Okay, then I see a flash underneath my door. I see like this flash happen. um and then she heard the beer pong table that like basically like get hit into somehow. Like she's hearing the
Yeah.
noise of that, and then she hears the dog barking. Those are the three things that like when she's telling investigators about what she woke up to. It was
I
a
wonder if Brian had gotten up,
firework.
he got his hand on a flashbang grenade.
Okay, so explain that because I was thinking I was like, is this a so
Every police officer, especially tactical, not every police officer, but tactical SWAT teams use flash bang grenades. And it's not fatal, but it gives you an auditory temporary concussion. Okay, so if you think there's five people sitting in the living room with guns and you want to break in without getting shot, you're gonna break the window, throw in a flashbang grenade. It's gonna go bang, and everybody in that room is gonna be like for about 5 seconds, and then the 5 seconds gives you time to break down the door and get your guns on them.
okay, so if
It doesn't last long. It's a
yes,
temporary distraction device. It's not
okay,
fatal. But if it lands in a pile of clothes, you can set the house on fire, which I've seen that happen.
okay. And so like the girl on the bottom level, this is why Ann Taylor was going to be subpoenaing the girl that was on the bottom level, because her what she heard and what she saw is completely different than because this happens, and then the girl that was upstairs, Dylan on the second level, that allegedly came in contact with the killer Brian Kohlberger, that she said that she didn't hear any boom, firework, anything like that. She didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So how loud are we talking that this,
If it's inside the house, the people in that room would hear it.
like if it was thrown in, like let's say like right at the when you walk into the house, let's say like right down there, or are you saying like this would have happened right in this living room? I mean, what would
It
be the
was,
purpose of that if nobody's in the room?
well, you don't know who's in the room at the time you throw it. You throw that room to secure the room. You throw the flashbang grenade in so that you have safe entry in the house.
So you do that to make everybody run to maybe like their rooms.
You could, yeah. Or stun the people because you don't know who's behind the door, right? And you want to walk in the door. So
Mhm.
if you open that door and there's five people sitting there with the lights on, you're fucked, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you have like a gun, right? But if I walk in the door with a knife and there's five people sitting in the room playing cards, I'm fucked because they're awake and they see me and they can defend themselves, and I'm gonna get hurt. So if I open up that room before I open that door, I don't know who's there unless I'm highly monitoring it. So I would open up that door, throw in the grenade, shut the door, wait for the grenade to go off, then open the door, and then come in. That would make people either run or be stunned. I don't
Okay.
see any evidence of a flashbang grenade here. There would
Either
be
either
burn
do
marks.
I.
There would be
Either
burn
do
marks
I.
on the ground. It would
So
make a burn mark about this big on the floor.
it would. Okay, perfect. So then what do you think the noise like for someone to say that, oh my like to say, yeah, I heard like what was like a firework go off
You know,
and then a flash and I saw it underneath my door. That means and that girl was on the bottom level, okay? So I
yeah.
was trying to think to myself, okay, what could she possibly be talking about? And it's like, is there any way that somebody on their phone, let's say, if somebody had their phone on and they had like the flashlight on the other side, and could you like play something that would like make like that type of a sound, and then you saw when you looked under the door just like the flashlight of the phone? I mean, why would Bethany have some type of that's saying that she heard that would there's nothing in the house that looks like it was destroyed or like broken or thrown over that would be like,
Yeah, plus I think that would be counterproductive to what he was trying to accomplish here. Because
which is like the sneak attack.
because a flashbang would the purpose of a flashbang grenade is not to kill, it's to disorientate to arrest, right?
Mhm, yeah.
And usually you're gonna have a gun. He had a knife. The reason why you pick a knife and not a gun is because you want to be quiet. If he wanted to kill them with a gun, then I'd say a flashbang is a great tool, right? But
Yeah.
he was planning this whole thing with a knife. So to use a flashbang grenade is not consistent with a knife attack. A knife attack means stealth. Flashbang grenade is not stealth.
Yeah.
You know?
So you just maybe say that would would you just say, okay, this girl has no idea what she's talking about? Would you say
I
like
have
she's
no
so
idea. I don't know
confused?
anything about this girl.
I would just be like a fire, like a firecracker. I'm like, I know people that have confused a gun shot with a firework, but I was like,
I mean, I've had a case, the Oscar Pistorius case. We had people that were 500 feet away that confused him breaking the door down with a cricket bat with gunfire. We had people 300 feet away that confused his voice screaming for help for Riva screaming for help, right? So, however close you are, what kind of barriers there are, plus the specifics of the situation. Okay,
and
listen,
if you're like drinking and you're intoxicated, like that would actually,
the worst evidence in the world is eyewitnesses.
yep, I agree,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's just, yeah. Um,
That's why
well,
in the case I did last year, this guy was convicted of murder, was spent in jail for 33 years with not one piece of forensic evidence, but just eyewitness testimony from two 12-year-old boys and a 15-year-old boy in the neighborhood. I don't know how anybody could get convicted off of the testimony of a child like that. Eyewitness. I mean, not the victim, but just a witness, right? Scott's thoughts on the unknown male DNA not tested. But
do you think?
I think I mentioned that before. That could be an unrelated piece of DNA from another male in the house, not related to the crime.
And if you were the defense, you would, well, because I like they use IgG in this case, so I think there was actually blood. There was gloves outside the house, at least one of them that
Yeah.
was collected, and it also had blood. That this glove had blood on it as well, and it was again an unknown male. And
If you mix my blood with your blood and put it on the same glove, it could uh, be unknown DNA.
yeah, they determined that they were unknown male,
Yeah.
single profile. So those are like the things that it's like you had the unknown male A, which was on the sheath. Then you had unknown male B, which was
Well,
the blood on the railing.
unknown male on the sheets could be any other male that was in that bed.
No. That was deemed Brian Koberger because they got a match to that
Oh, okay, fine.
when they got his. Yeah. So
That's a
then,
male.
yeah. So unknown male A was from the sheath, and it was then determined to be Brian Koberger's.
Okay, okay.
So then unknown male B, when they swabbed, that was the rail, like right above where the railing is
Right.
going down.
Right.
So that was labeled as unknown male B, and that was
Right.
never found out to this day who it belongs to.
Yeah.
Even though people that were in that house, they were friends with, they submitted their DNA to like exclude stuff.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it excluded. So like as you were saying, someone that's hanging out, cracking a beer, blood,
Right.
you know what I mean? They gave their DNA and no,
I had a small cut on my thumb earlier just from putting the dishes away, and I had a tiny little piece of blood, and and then I opened up the refrigerator, and now my blood is on the refrigerator. I
for
didn't,
life.
yeah.
No.
So it's like
And then it was so that was a single source male B, and then the one that was outside with the glove that was by the trash can.
Yeah.
That was again, blood was found to be on the glove, and it came back to again an unknown male that was not either A or B, and now so you have this other. So you have two unknown male.
But this is a high traffic area with random people coming in and out of this house at all hours, at all days, at all times. This is a frat house, a bunch of kids.
No, it wasn't a frat house. It was
but like these are four. You got 4 or 5 single people living there. I mean, hundreds of people probably went through this property over the time that they lived there. I mean, I can count on one hand how many people have been in this house. Okay, that I'm in right now, right? Because I'm an old man, right? But if you're a young man you're a young person going to college, it's going to be hundreds of people coming around. Okay. And plus, they didn't do the maintenance. I'm sure it could have been a yard worker, somebody that did the fun, whatever. So, in a high traffic area, and I would consider this a high traffic area. These are not secured properties. We have no idea who's coming in and out of this house. I don't even think the girls that lived there had any idea who was in and out of this house. Well,
it's actually opposite. They said their parties were like 20 people, and that they kept to themselves with their group.
That's a lot of people.
Well, and those people were ruled out. So I just know this from the defense standpoint, or even from the prosecution standpoint, is in terms of going to trial when you have a jury that's going to hear that here this was a stabbing. Here there's blood. Here you guys don't
from a
do
prosecution
anything to figure that out.
I don't from a prosecution standpoint, if somebody was trying to say random male DNA that may or may not be related to the crime, it's a question mark, but it's not it doesn't take away any guilt of Brian. It just
Well, I'm
puts
talking about at the time that you don't know who Brian is. So when they would have seen this, when it is what it is, when you don't have a suspect yet and you're considering everything, they didn't put it into CODIS. They didn't put those samples into CODIS. So when you're not doing stuff like that, is that become question? Like you don't even know that there's going to be DNA on that knife sheath. That's touch DNA that's unseen. You can't even see it. And so here you actually have, here's a blood sample. And then here's another blood sample on the gloves.
You definitely want to pay more attention to that knife sheath because you know that this is a stabbing and you know that a knife was once in that sheath. So from a causational standpoint, that knife sheath, it has way more evidentiary interest to the investigator than a random microscopic blood spot on a railing that may or may not belong to anybody, and or a blood drop on a glove outside by a garbage can that may or may not belong to anybody, and most likely neither one of those things had anything.
Well, it was inside. No, it was inside the crime scene tape.
Oh well, I don't know anything about the glove.
Yeah, so it wasn't like when I was talking about like random,
like an OJ soaked bloody glove and soaked blood of an unknown male, or a single droplet. I mean, I have no idea.
No, there was not a single. Yeah, no, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Like we don't know because
the glove.
There's a picture of the glove.
Okay, let's see a picture of this unknown male DNA glove.
Okay, let me see what.
Then I'll tell you if it's got any value. Because right now, without seeing it, I have no idea.
Okay, yeah. That's good. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. This unknown male blood glove. It's like a glove.
Glove. Could be starting a new band. It's called Blood Glove.
It's on one of these things. Hold on, I got.
It's going to be young. It's going to be adolescent anxiety rock.
Where is? Hold on one second. Is this it? I got all these pictures, and I got to like go through my. This is from a previous live.
Yeah, shout out to my South African people. I just finished my book. While you're looking, I just finished my book on the Oscar Pistorius case called "A Leg to Stand On." Coming soon. We're just simply designing the cover and doing a final copy edit and picking out what pictures are going to be in it now. But it's I think after final editing, we've got about 125 pages, and 16 chapters.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. I'm just going to pull it up for my other live.
It's just my quick little commercial for everybody.
Okay, here's a decent look at it, I think. I'm trying to get a zoomed in one. Okay, here we go. This is about the best I'm gonna do right now until. Hold on. Yeah, we'll just go with this. Okay. I don't know if you can see it good enough though. If any of the mods in chat have one pulled up, you just email it to me. That's like zoomed in. But this is when Chris McDonough went on News Nation. But see the black glove there? I don't know if you could see it yet.
Yeah, I see a black glove there. But where is that in relationship to the house? How far?
So this is where it gets confusing because Chris McDonough says that he found the glove right by the. Here, I'll back up. Right by the garbage cans that were.
I don't see a garbage can there. I mean, you got
here. I'll back up more. Right there. Okay. Hold on. Maybe it's in the beginning. There we go. Okay. See, so it's inside the tape. Okay. It's going to be behind those two garbage cans that are like, so the It's right up where the driveway is, kind of, but it's actually in the grass still. And where Officer Payne says he found the glove, he does not say that Chris McDonough found the glove. He says that he found the glove, and that it was actually only 25 feet in the middle of the driveway from where the door was. And so,
And how much blood is on it?
They didn't say how much blood was on it. It did test, and there was unknown male. And what's crazy is how do you miss this glove if you're going around and processing the scene? Like, how do you miss this?
But it looks like it's still a secure scene at this point.
Huh? No, it's secured scene. It's got the tape all around it. It's
just because it just wasn't picked up yet. I mean, yeah.
No, this is from November 20th. This right here is from November 24th.
Okay.
They let it sit there from November 13th until November 24th.
Okay, well.
And so it was just like,
maybe it was covered up with snow and then maybe it was covered up with snow and then the snow melted.
Yeah, there was no snow that day.
For 2 weeks?
No, I'm saying like the day that this happened. So when they were out there, like, November 13th and then the 14th. Yeah, that snow didn't happen.
Is it possible that it snowed between, let's say it wasn't there and then somebody threw it there?
Well, this is what we're getting at is that where Payne says he found the glove, it's not in this area. And he also writes up a report and he's saying that he went through body camera and photos from when everybody was there on the 13th.
Didn't Brian try to go back to the scene after it happened?
Who's that? I'm sorry?
Didn't Brian try to go back to the scene after it happened?
They were trying to say that his phone pinged on the tower at around 9 a.m.
Yeah. So he would have left and then came back.
I don't think that he went back to the scene because they had the camera from 1112 King Road, and that all went all the way till noon, and there was no car. Like, because how would they have the car from before with all that? They didn't have that.
Park somewhere and be on foot. I wouldn't park my car anywhere near that crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just that was the type of glove I think
that glove is just simply an unknown, but until I wouldn't say it has no evidentiary value. Everything has evidentiary value, but is that glove significant? It might be, but does it tell us anything about anything? No.
Yeah. Well, I would just think that it doesn't tell us anything, but it in terms of that. Why is there a bloody glove inside a crime scene where a glove was used?
I think the only thing that tells you is that the cops missed it, or it was put there later, or it was overlooked and it's unrelated, or it is related and it was overlooked. We don't know.
Yeah.
And just because we don't know something, I don't know how much value we give to that. Just like we don't know exactly why Brian did this. But you don't have to know why to get a guilty verdict,
This would just be something that we were talking about earlier. I guess you would say that you're going to pound on the fact that look at these Keystone cops. How the fuck are they messing this up?
I don't know.
We're talking about the O.J. Simpson case. Is that what you would do with it if you were the defense?
If you're doing it with the defense, if I was on the defense, I would try to make a big deal out of that glove with the unknown male. I think the blood on the inside is something, but it's not a lot. I think their biggest defense was like they could make the argument.
I got something else for you. I forgot. Sorry.
Like they can make the argument that there was somebody else there, but they can't make the argument that Brian wasn't there. There's nothing in this evidence that takes away the fact that Brian was there. And that's why this thing is not going to trial.
They didn't even look at anything else. Why aren't you considering it? It's like you knew what was going to be on that sheet before anybody else did, type of thing. Could you?
No, not at all. No, not
you
at
wouldn't think that? Okay.
Well,
why wasn't it entered into CODIS?
I don't know. I'm not.
That's not like your thing. Okay. No, what about under the fingernails of Maddie? Brian Klober was excluded, and there was other. There was DNA underneath the fingernails of Maddie.
I'll imagine why that was there.
Okay. So it could be just in terms of like, hey, whoever she was hanging out with transferred type stuff. Yeah. She couldn't claw at him because he was covered, head to toe in gear, and he had gloves and
people, their hands on other people.
Yeah.
I don't
know. That would be that you wouldn't be considering that. Like that wouldn't be your field, right?
I mean, I would factor it in. It is my field, but
Okay.
I'm telling you that just because Maddie had DNA under her fingernails doesn't have anything that most likely has nothing to do with the crime. It's an unrelated human issue.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It would
Right?
just be like, yeah. Well, I would just think that you're just taking the totality of things, like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, you have to look at the environment and the people, which was now, if this was a 90-year-old lady and she had somebody's male DNA under her fingernails, I'm like, yeah, okay, we're looking for somebody with scratches. But we got a 22-year-old girl with, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Look, ask whoever she went on a date with if they got scratches. I mean, to me, that's what that means. No
okay,
offense. I'm not defending. I'm not trying to just. But if you have to be honest,
yeah.
right? You have to be
Well, I'm
honest.
looking at it before
Sometimes
pre Brian
honesty.
Porter.
Yeah, I'm just saying you have to look at uncomfortable truths. We got young people that are partying, doing drugs, having sex, having fun. Bunch of people in and out. It's an unsecure location, and if you're a maniacal, crazy fuckwad who's never gotten laid and wants to be a murderer, you're gonna want to murder those people that are having fun because you're not having fun, and you think that they're immoral because you're a fucking loser. So you murder them because
But
you're dumb, right?
I'm talking about the crime scene here in terms of before
I
anybody is
know,
known. It's
I
like,
know.
what type of weight are you giving
The
the
blood,
evidence?
the
And,
glove.
and
I
if
don't
you're
know how much blood's on it. I don't give
yeah,
the evidence that we have. It's all about the totality of the evidence. Not one piece of evidence is more important than the other. And if we had, and you look at it like a scale, Lana. So
mm-hmm.
if you've got 1,000 pieces of evidence,
Okay,
950 of those pieces of evidence directly relate to Brian Koberger, and you've got 50
which
pieces.
they don't in this case.
They do because he pled guilty.
But that's not evidence. Let's be honest. I take it though as for his word. Trust me. I'm just trying to talk about
The fact
before it
that,
even gets to that point.
okay,
It's like, um, so this crime scene to you immediately when you see it, you would have left that day and been like, dude, we are totally looking for an incel
yeah,
who wanted to kill people that were having fun.
I think I said that the very first day you interviewed me about this.
Yep. And you said that this was also like,
We're looking for an incel who is jealous of hot girls, and that's what this is. If we break this
even
thing
though
down,
there's no forced entry.
no, yeah, I don't think these girls were locking their doors.
Yeah, because it's Moscow. Like the people have said that. Okay.
They were very comfortable in their surroundings.
And there was no way you would ever look at this crime scene day one and say, okay, we have to keep it on the table. This could have been multiple people.
Well, no, you keep that on the table in the beginning, but
Yeah,
unless there's evidence to suggest that, then you don't follow up on things that don't exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at everything in the beginning. You don't. First of all, you walk into a crime scene, you make no assumptions,
Correct.
right? You can profile, right? That's why criminal profiling is a thing. That's why after this murder happened, you're like, Scott, who are we looking for here? I'm like, you're looking for a guy between the ages of 18 and 35 who is an incel, who is shy and quiet and socially reclusive. And that's exactly who it is. Those are the people the shy, reclusive people, the disaffected loner male is the biggest threat to girls having a good time. And this guy interrupted a good time, and he interrupted it hard because he wasn't invited, or he was jealous, or he was pissed off about it.
Do you think that he moved from Pennsylvania to Washington to go there and get his PhD? So was there something like this? Would you think that there's a trigger that, I mean, he left at the end of June, so you have July, August, September, October, and then you have the 2 weeks in November. So you're looking at, I don't know, 4.5 months.
Yeah. No, I think Brian Koberger,
Even though they were able to prove, or I should say prove, they were able to determine that there was no connection in terms of like there's no digital like, hey, I was following them on social media. I was doing I was stalking
Listen,
them. Like,
he could have saw her at. He could have saw one of these girls at a hot dog stand. Said, "Hey, baby, what's up?" She said, "Piss off, loser." And he's like,
exactly.
"You're my victim." Right? It could have been that simple. This guy was looking for somebody to hurt. This guy probably has killed before. And
Mhm.
if I'm looking at this case moving forward, I am tracking everything Brian Cober did from the time he was 10 years old until the day he was arrested, from PA to Idaho to Washington, and all along every highway and truck stop along the way, every dating profile, every
Which they did all that. They did all that, and there was nothing.
there's
The,
not nothing
the
there.
feds were all well. The feds were all over that. Supposedly, all of these. That's all they were trying to do for the past. I mean, they went
Well,
on his
it takes a long
Amazon.
time to find cold cases. I bet you. I'm telling you. I think there was a dead dog in the area. Somebody
Then why
stole.
did he kill Murphy?
Murphy wasn't a threat.
So
You
okay.
kill a dead. You kill a dog as a warm up, not as an encore, right?
Well,
So when I say he killed a dog, that means I think he killed a
before
dog weeks and months or maybe years. You start off,
prior to
yeah, right. You kill squirrels, you kill a cat, you kill a dog, and then you work your way up to maybe a homeless person or
what?
or
Oof.
a dating profile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, listen, this was his swan song. This was his stairway to heaven. This was his thing that
Then
put
why
him
did he plead guilty? You think if that's like
because he couldn't get out of the. It's a fact. You guys go to my website evidence-room.net. I put a new blog up there with Q&A on very forensic relevant questions, and I answer that question.
okay.
This question here. Um, the
Like
the reason why he pled guilty. Or
versus not just going. I mean, I have my theories on that, but
here's why. The simple fact of the matter: he pled guilty to life without the possibility of parole, knowing that he will die in prison, guaranteed,
mhm.
because he could not get over the fact that uh, he couldn't get out of the fact that he was at the crime scene. It was so apparent, based on the evidence, that he physically was at the crime scene and had no reason or excuse to be there. And there's no forensic trickery or evidentiary expert you could call to get out of the fact that he was there. And that's why he pled guilty and plea bargained it, because he couldn't get himself out of the crime scene. Maybe they could have argued somebody else was
Okay, so
there.
then how come the defense or the what? Okay, this is a capital punishment case. Okay, like this, if there's a case out there that's deserving of it, right? This would be that type of a case, in my opinion. Regardless if like people want to say, "Oh, you're pro death penalty," if there was a case out there that anybody could ever argue for the death penalty, this would be that case. And you have the prosecutor, saying that they're taking this to trial, blah blah, and they're going for the death penalty.
Yep.
And then why would the prosecutor? I don't care if Brian Kober wants a deal. Why is the prosecutor dealing with the devil and doing this if they have such a slam dunk and
What about
they want to? What was
yeah,
it?
I'll answer your question. There's a couple reasons.
So,
Costs a lot
so
of money. Costs a lot of money to go to trial.
yeah, but I mean they've been doing this for 2.5 years. They were about like literally trial. So it was trial was starting voir dire and like with the jurors in 2 weeks.
Right. But that costs a lot of money to go to trial. That's one. Number
Oh
two,
yeah, it costs a lot of money. So they did it for money reasons, right? That's what.
if you allow me to answer your question, if I may.
Yeah, you're good. Sorry.
I'll answer your question. I mean, if you don't mind.
Yes.
If you don't mind, let me answer. I'm kidding.
No, you're good.
Money was part of it. It's a small factor, right? Not a big factor, but it's the first one I list. Second thing is, what if the family was just so done with it? They're like, he's in jail without the possibility of parole. Fucking done. Just be
It was
done.
the opposite. The families went off on the prosecutor.
All four families said they wanted to go through a public trial.
I wouldn't say I think it was basically, I mean, all except I don't know if it was divided 2 to
There's a
2
lot
or if
of
it was 3 to 1, but I know for a fact
all
that
these kids had
oh
moms
yeah.
and dads, brothers and sisters, grandmas, and all that shit, right?
Mhm.
Just because one person who might be a spokesperson says, I want to see him burn, that doesn't mean everybody in the family agrees. Listen,
Mhm.
I I don't believe in the death penalty
Mhm.
morally. I don't think the government should have the power to kill you, but that's just me. I'm a Christian, and I
Yeah.
don't believe in
I
murder
don't
under
believe
any
that's not either.
circumstances. I don't believe there's ever justifiable. Not saying if you came and fucked with my dog, I wouldn't murder you because I fucking would, but there's never a reason to murder anybody, right? And you should never murder, and the government should not murder, and the military should not murder. I'm against all murder. I'm against
Yeah.
murder. That's why I got into the business of murder reconstruction, is because I didn't don't there's never a good reason to murder. There's a reason for self-defense, but there's never a good reason to murder. If you have the option of putting this guy in jail for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole, I think you take that if you're the family. I think, and if you are
Because then
the
you don't have to go through all the stuff down the road with the
person,
appeals.
if you're the family and you want the guy to get executed so that you can have your revenge, you need to go find Christ. Okay? You need to go to church. You need to pray because vengeance and revenge will not bring back your child.
Mhm.
And it is not a form
God.
of justice. It is a form of the devil. The death penalty should not be legal in America. It is barbaric and it is not a Christian thing to do. And I'm against the death penalty. And if you're the family of a victim, I understand pain. I've had people in my life die. I've never had anybody taken away from me by way of murder, but so I that can't speak from personal experience. But I would like to think I would have some mercy in my heart, not to go for
I
the death.
wouldn't want it on my conscience. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have to. I would not have to want. I would not want to have to die because everybody goes to a road to get to the point where they're at, and you should find it in your heart to have some forgiveness. Um,
Mhm.
but that's easy for me to say. These aren't my kids,
Yeah. I mean,
but
trust me, I'd be like, but I agree with you. I agree with you because nothing would ever bring back whether it's my sister, my
yeah,
brother, my kid, my mom, my dad. Um, and like I, if I didn't want that person to go murder my kid, I also look at the parent of Brian Kober to
yeah,
me, and sparing his parents to me, they didn't do anything. His sister, you know what I'm trying to say? Like
yeah.
he can spend the rest of his life in prison, which trust me who would want to me that's worse than getting the death penalty.
It is. It
I'm
is.
sorry, but like I'm of the opinion, like, dude, do you know what a type of life that is? Like that is fucking awful. And
Yeah,
I've never done it. Like I'm just saying, like I can't even imagine. But just, dude, you're dead. It's over with. No, this person goes to prison, and they're. But I would look at those parents, and to me, I would say, I'm so sorry that your son put you guys, like, you guys are victims. Like, we are maybe not in the same type of way. You get to still see him, I guess. But
yeah.
I would never want somebody to ever feel the way I felt as a parent. And that's just me. And maybe, Lana, why would you ever think like that? I don't know.
Think about Brian's parents.
That's
Like
me.
how
I
much
guess I'm
guilt.
compassionate or empathy or
Excuse me.
I'll, um,
Think about Brian's parents and how much guilt and shame they have for
fuck
having a
yeah,
child that did
absolutely.
that. You know,
That's
um,
why I really liked what Xana's parents, I really liked Xana's family's message
you know,
and Maddie's grandmother's message. Um, that hey, if you ever wanted to talk, we would listen to what you had to say. And Xana's mom was like, I forgive you, and um, so it was just two totally different places. But I also think that people are in different phases of you can still be in denial, you could still be angry when you got four families and everybody's at different stages of the process of grieving. And
yeah,
and I just that's what I see in the four families. I think that everybody's at different phases.
yeah,
And
yeah. Pain
um
and grief is hard, and especially when somebody's taken away from you like this so violently. I think your gut reaction is revenge, right?
yeah.
Um, like if somebody ever did anything to my daughter, you would have to chain me down for me to not personally take revenge. Although I
Yeah.
can preach to say don't do it, but you never know what's happening in your heart. You know, like how you feel. So, but to answer your question, why not go for the death penalty is, I think.
Well, I think telling the parents that you're going to do that, knowing that you're never going to do that, is absolutely torture for them.
I don't think you use the death penalty as a threat for plea bargaining.
Do you think that should be legal?
I don't think the death penalty should be legal at all.
There you go. Because I don't believe that you should be afraid to go forward in your case because you don't want to die.
But that's part of the justice system that we have, right?
Well, I don't think that makes sense.
Listen, I'm against the death penalty, but the fact of the matter is it's there. And if you're the prosecutor, the death penalty is a tool in your toolbox to resolve the case, right? So you're going to threaten them with death penalty. You're going to threaten them with all of the everything, and then that way the lawyers for Brian Koberger will be like, hey, at least you're not going to get the death penalty, huh?
Hey, we worked up enough that they don't want to take this to trial because it's going to expose some stuff. We were able to get them to say, plead guilty to everything as is, and
going to expose the personal lives of all the victims. Going to trial is going to expose the behavior of the cops, the prosecutor, the judge, the DA, the grand jury, and everybody's going to end up having egg on their face. Everybody's going to end up looking bad. Everybody's going to lose dignity. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be long. It's going to be drawn out. There's other crimes to prosecute. There's other things. It's a busy world. It's time to move on. Let these people rest. Let these victims rest. Put this animal behind bars. Let this family try to find some peace. And guess what? You got 20 more murders coming up in this district, coming around the corner.
Yeah, it's like
in every district, because you can't as much, and then from and it's just so sad. So from a prosecutor, could I have helped this case on a defense standpoint? I probably could have helped. At least knock out some of the evidence or the meaning of it. But I wouldn't have been able to knock out whether he was there. Okay? That's the hardest part. That's why this case is settling with a plea bargain of jail without the possibility of going free, is because they couldn't overcome the evidence that was so strong tying Brian to being at the scene during the crime. And it's that simple, in my opinion. They couldn't overcome that simple identifying factor.
That's why the lawyers would ever be like, hey, Brian, we're advising you to do this because we think that you'd be found guilty and then you're facing the death penalty. And it's because maybe we didn't win these motions because we were going to try to get, all of this stuff kicked, for it to be suppressed because it was obtained, blah, blah, blah. But then in the same breath, if she's over there saying that he's innocent and he's maintained his innocence, that's a big leap. Then just a couple weeks before that, offering up third-party culprits, 4 of them, to literally 2 weeks later taking a plea deal.
Well, when you're seeing
that wild?
No, that's normal. That's what would happen. That's what I would expect to happen. Because listen, you have to say not guilty out the gate. You have to.
No. The lawyers were actually in the courtroom saying that their client, we believe in his innocence. Like there's a difference. He's saying not guilty.
You have to say that.
Lawyers saying that we believe in his innocence, and
lawyers lie. Lawyers are not.
I went on a different limb in this case. I'll send you some clips because I disagree with that. I've never seen lawyers do.
Lawyers are allowed to lie.
This and then. Okay.
Lawyers are allowed to lie in the courtroom.
They are not.
Yes, they are.
That's candor to the tribunal. No way. I disagree.
Lawyers are allowed to lie.
Statements to others.
They lie every day in the courtroom.
They do, but they're not supposed to. I don't think they're allowed.
They do. The judge lies. The prosecutor lies. Witnesses lie. Okay. The point is, can you prove whether they're lying or not? And most of the time, no, you can't, because it's hard to get inside somebody's heart. But to get to your point of how do you get to the progression of he's innocent to somebody else was there to guilty. Innocent is always
pleading guilty, I guess you could say.
Innocent.
Yeah, how would you as a lawyer say that to your client that I'm advising you to do this now?
Because you're cooked.
Okay.
You're guilty. But they can't come out the first week and say he's guilty. That they have to come out the first week and say he's innocent, didn't do it, this all misunderstanding. We're going to prove it in court. That's just posturing.
Oh, but they didn't say that there was a gag order.
Let me get through my 3 fucking things.
Hey, I'm just friendly debating it with you, just making sure
I know. So that you come out the gate posture, and I love you.
I know you do.
So we come out the gate posturing. He's guilty. He's not guilty. He's innocent. He didn't do it. He wasn't there. He was in typing class at the Club O'Rocco School for Women. Whatever the fuck. Say anything. He's gay. He's blind. He has no legs. You lie. It doesn't matter. He's not guilty. He doesn't even exist. He wasn't born yet. All of that is acceptable out the gate. Then the second thing they come out is, well, somebody else was there too. Well, here's blood and this and that, and they don't buy it. They don't buy it. They're like, okay, fucking guilty. Don't kill me, right? That's what happened, right? Let's keep it real here, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion, right?
Real. No, that's real. That's how it goes.
Well, in this, yeah,
I'm not guilty. You always say innocent. Lawyers lie. They walk.
Lawyers definitely fucking lie. You know, I'm all about that.
Listen, it's like in the movie,
especially in fucking Idaho.
It's like in the movie, My Cousin Vinny. Judge, we got a misunderstanding here. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry that you're in the unique position to saying that your client did not do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Nobody did it.
Nobody did it
until you have to say guilty, right?
True that. But definitely every fucking lawyer does lie, but I don't think it's legal to lie. And I think in Idaho, they just seriously, literally, they have like a round table that they're like, yeah, let's have a circle jerk tonight. Like they all work together, like you said.
There's a reason why the lawyers don't have to swear to tell the truth. Only the witnesses on the stand have to swear. There's no such thing as charging a lawyer with perjury. Just like you can't charge a congressman with perjury. You can't charge a president with perjury. We all know the minute a lawyer, a judge, or a politician, or a car salesman opens their mouth, you're going to get fucking lies. You know why I don't lie? Is because when I take the stand, I have to say, I swear to God, I will not lie under penalty of perjury and imprisonment.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy if we truly think about it?
The lawyers don't have to do that. The lawyers just walk in there and like fucking say whatever they think.
Yeah, and you're never going to have a lawyer. You're never going to have lawyers going after other lawyers because it's like a nonsense thing. So like if you're trying to like go, let's say, sue a lawyer or go after them in some type of way, good luck. You're not going to have lawyers going at lawyers.
You cannot prosecute a lawyer for lying. It is not against the law for a lawyer to lie. Matter of fact, in law school,
you can go to the bar, I guess, with it.
No, not really. Not really. I've never seen a lawyer prosecuted for lying or disbarred for lying. That's not considered misconduct.
Well, no, I'm talking about you can go to the bar with it. You can't lie to your client. No, you can't say that I interviewed Eldora Gatchel and I had and twice and here's a made up report and this is what they said and then oh wait, we really never interviewed her. What?
Well, there's a reason why in the courtroom the judge says the lawyer's going to say a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't matter what the lawyers say because they're not under oath. What a lawyer says or does in the courtroom is not evidentiary. That's
and I'm not talking about in the courtroom. I'm talking about you could take them to the bar and try to handle your shit against them going to the bar.
A lawyer is not ethically allowed to lie to being an expert. How would you take it if the judge called you a conspiracy theorist without even
hearing you first? Oh yeah, that's what Judge Hippler did in this case.
Called who a conspiracy theorist?
Cy Ray, when he put in his affidavit, they said that we're not going to have this your conspiracy theorist over here. This would get somebody fired. This would get that lawyer right there. She would lose her license and blah blah. It's like, yeah, that's because that's what she did.
I think being called a conspiracy theorist is a fucking compliment.
Well, but
yeah,
wouldn't you want the opportunity? Wouldn't you want the opportunity?
You know how Jonathan Kennedy got killed with a conspiracy. Robert F. Kennedy killed with a conspiracy. Moon landing, conspiracy. Listen, we are living in the world of conspiracies. Jeffrey Epstein murdered via conspiracy. Donald Trump engages in conspiracies. Joe Biden is a conspiracy criminal. Every 9/11 is a conspiracy, folks. Okay, do we need to go on? Waco conspiracy, Ruby Ridge conspiracy. Can we go on? While Milana gets water, I'm taking questions on conspiracies.
But this was the question though. If you were, if
I
so,
tease, I joke.
if you put an affidavit in, let's say like hypothetically speaking, and you said that for example, you shit. Well,
an affidavit
basically
about
he
what?
was
An expert or a witness?
Yeah, one of the defense's experts was backing the motion, which was, hey, we have digital forensic evidence that they obtained the timing advance records of Brian Kober, and that the prosecution did not turn it over to you. They're lying to the courts. He writes up an affidavit so that he could be heard at a motion limine.
Yeah.
And the judge goes fucking off the wall and says, no, he's not allowing this expert to speak as a witness, and labels the act. We're not going to have conspiracy theorists in here, and it was just like, wait a second. Have you ever seen that before where a judge just blurts that off and you're supposed to then
Well, I don't know anything about this guy, so I can't vouch for his credibility. I've never heard of the guy. I don't know who he is. And I really, I don't know the demeanor of this judge. I think the judge to call somebody a conspiracy theorist is unethical. For you to file an expert opinion with a motion and requesting a motion to eliminate, I think 9 times out of 10, unless that expert has no education, training, and or experience to validate that he has the veracity,
which he had all of it. He is credentialed for days. So
I've never heard of the guy, but let's assume he is. But for them to be that's inappropriate procedure by the judge.
Yeah, so you would be like, have you ever heard, like, that's like, wow, like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, listen, judges are just people, and they're just people that go home to their wives and their ugly kids and do their fucking life and shit, right? So the point of it is, a judge is supposed to be at a higher standard.
Yeah.
But you have levels of judges, just like cops. You have some good cops, and you got some really fucking shitty cops. You got good people, bad people. You got good judges, bad judges. I don't know much about this judge or about that, but what I'm saying,
you would say it was just unethical to behave like that, right?
But it doesn't seem. I'm sure there's probably more to it than that. But at minimum, if he has the standing education, training, experience,
he does.
The Daubert hearing standard. What you're doing in a motion to eliminate is you're essentially Dauberting somebody.
Well, yes. And in Idaho, that's a little bit different, but yeah.
Okay, but the same standard is that a motion to eliminate to hear evidence based on an expert opinion that motion to eliminate, a kind of motion to eliminate means motion before trial, right?
Motion during
trial.
Keep out, yeah.
And to keep out or let in, same thing. That's a Daubert hearing. Is you're saying so that judge to me was saying she was attacking the credibility, not the claim, and that's improper for a judge to attack the credibility of a witness rather than the accusation of the witness.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. I agree. And I was just kind of like, wow.
Yeah. All right. I know
we'll wrap it.
Can we wrap it? Because
we're good.
My phone's pinging.
Oh my god, yes! Holy shit! It's 2 hours and 48 minutes. Oh my god, how did we talk this long?
Did we do 3 hours?
Holy shit! Oh my god, you guys, that was insane.
Wow. I hope you guys are cool out there. And listen, if I was, if I offended any yahoos out there,
no, you're great, Scott. Fuck them.
I love you.
We all have our own opinion. Like that's the greatest part. Why do I want to talk to somebody that I agree with everything? Someone's lying then, or it's just like you want to be able to talk about it.
Whatever it was, but no, listen, I didn't mean to flip the finger off. That was just for that one guy.
Oh, I do it all the time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the chat?
Right, yeah. I'm so glad. You notice the chat, the show went a lot better once I turned off the chat because I'm like, But I wanted to read can we call up any questions from our people in Australia or South Africa?
Yeah, we can. Wait, didn't you have something you wanted to share before the end? It was something like you got something going on. I don't know. Did I?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could say it. I don't know. Are you able to? Okay, let me see.
from our South Africans or from our Australians?
Any questions from anybody from South Africa or Australia?
Anybody. I'll take,
Anybody?
what time is it? We got 32 minutes. I'll take the next 10 minutes answering questions. 10
Okay,
minutes.
I'll highlight away here as they come up.
But I'll give high priority to Australia and South Africa, but I'll take any questions next 10 minutes.
I fucking love you. I'm giving priority to these people.
Well, I love
No, it's great. I love it. I think it's great.
South Africans and I love my Australians, and we'll give them a high priority, top billing, and then girl, you can get up there too. If you call me a Yahoo, you're banned.
Oh, let's revisit the thought of you saying this left-handed. Here, somebody hit it.
Okay.
Let's revisit what Scott said about left-handed unaliver. That's huge. And you're saying that because of the picture that was upstairs, Keely and Maddie in that bedroom.
The blood on the wall, yeah.
The blood on the wall, because it would be like a left hand.
Like it was a stab, cast off, stab, cast off.
And that's what they were saying. They were hitting her. Sometime I think it was like a couple of them were on top of her head.
Because if it was a right-handed, but then again, his body could have been in a different position. But based on how the bed was, knowing that there was another body there and so on, it looked like to me that it was a left-handed cast
straddle.
Yeah, straddle, and then
Yeah, I'm telling you, there was like three things. Like I've already made my notes. I'm like, when you were saying stuff, I was just like, holy shit. And it was the whole. This was not somebody that was like running all over. This was something that was methodically had time. You didn't have to worry about like someone. I guess you could say calling cops. I mean, I don't know if you want to say that, but
let's go to the next question.
Next question is. BK. Oh, where is it?
Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I just gotta
okay. Mike.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Don't write that you're from South Africa. Right. Wendy says, "Is Scott single?" There you go. There's a question.
I am single.
Here you go. I am single. Well, we will
be Wendy from South Africa.
I don't know. She didn't disclose that. She didn't qualify herself. No, we're gonna have a dating app. We're gonna have a dating app and show here.
No, I was married. I'm a widow. I have 2 grandchildren, so I'm old as fuck. I'm a dinosaur over here.
Okay. What about no bloody footprints in the hallway or on the stairs?
Well, I think that has to do with him changing his clothes.
So
and he could hide the knife, maybe the first 2 killings were clean. They're cleanish.
Does the bed absorb, because if somebody's actually in bed and you're stabbing them because you're standing on the floor and they're actually in the bed, you wouldn't have the, would that have anything to do with that?
It all depends on the struggle.
Do you think that he would have taken off his shoes when he first walked in to be like?
No.
Okay.
No, I think he was wearing shoe covers.
Booties?
Booties, no. Yeah. Booties.
When he got in, he had booties on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see.
And those are easy to get. The only thing that would be hard to get would be the flashbang grenade. But I don't think there's any evidence that a flashbang was actually used other than that one girl.
Okay. How did he not step on and smear the cast off on the floor? Like even with booties, he would still do that, right?
I mean, there was a lot of space in between those blood droplets.
Okay.
Pretty wide.
Question.
It was a wide spread, not a tight pattern.
Okay, so question. He doesn't think the crimes were personal, not possible to be done by a female. They said there was a lot of force.
Well, anything's possible, but I do think this was personal in that Brian perceived either these girls slighted him by act or omission, or he was jealous, or he was morally judging them. And either way, though, I think it was personal from an ideological and or ego standpoint. Although I think that if he didn't kill these people, he would have found other people to kill.
Would it matter to you if Brian Kober was right-handed?
Was what?
Right-handed. Like if you found out that Brian Clover was right-handed, would that have anything?
Well, I mean, you use both left and right hand where needed, right? So I play baseball. I throw with my right. I catch with my left, but I can catch with my right, and I could throw with my left if I need to.
Okay.
It
How
all
much
depends on
does
need.
this would this person have to be like physically strong, or does it? Okay.
Brian, listen, Brian's a tall, skinny nerd, but it doesn't mean he's not strong.
Okay. So do you think that he explain them where you think the undressing happened? Would it have happened like after he was done killing both the four, or
No, no, no. I think he
okay?
killed two. He killed the other two. Then he got undressed and let the one live.
Well, okay. Well, the two because the other one was down on the third floor, but or on the first floor.
Right.
So you could potentially see him changing either in that little living room area.
There's a lot of places he could have
Okay.
changed. Yeah. But I
Um.
think he definitely got undressed. And that was the reason for the last person living is because he didn't want to put his gear back on to commit another murder and expose himself. He wanted to get away with this. Okay.
Okay.
Because he wanted to do it again.
Like you don't think that he would have left the sheath on purpose, right?
No. No.
Okay.
That was just a mistake.
Okay. To be like the sheath killer or something like that. Uh.
I mean, that's maybe that's not impossible, but I think it's more probable that it was just a mistake. But I
Okay.
think it's probable and possible that he was aspiring to be an ongoing killer.
Okay. Somebody writes. Did How did he not make a mess with the blood taking off his clothes?
You take it off, you crumble it. If you take it off,
And this would all be something that you would attempt to try, right? When you're like reenacting stuff.
yeah, I would try that stuff. Yeah, but we don't know how much blood was on his clothes that he had as a protective layer because we don't have those clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's
again,
hard
guys,
to
like
answer that
it's
without
also
knowing.
we're going off of because we're gonna do like me and Scott talked. It was like, hey, as soon as we get
That's
waiting to
part
get
one, folks.
yeah, this is part one. He can only go off of what is out there.
Yeah, so a lot of this is going to be speculation. So I apologize. I am taking every question seriously, and I'm trying to give you a good answer. We've got about 1 minute. Any last
Okay.
questions? Make it a good one. Come on, South Africa or Australia. Where's my girl from Perth?
There you
I'm
go.
going to be in Perth this year. You'll be seeing me You'll be seeing me in Australia this year, and you might be seeing me for an extended stay in 2026.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Um.
Here's my shout out for everybody. I just finished with my book, A Leg to Stand On. Going to be available within the next 30 days, and I'm excited about it. So
That's
I hope
right.
you'll think about it. It's 5 years I've been taking to write this book. It's called A Leg to Stand On,
That
and
wasn't what I was trying to hit.
I dedicate the just to
That
show the
wasn't the
dedication.
question. Hang on. Are there
Yeah.
incels in South Africa or Australia?
Oh, of course there are. There's incels everywhere. You can find a gaming machine. You will find an incel.
Um.
No offense to the gamers out there, but I'm not a gamer. I'm not saying it's all about gamers, but listen, we live in a world. We live in a world where people are more and more being isolated and reclusive and being cornered into very few options in social behavior. And I think the fake COVID pandemic thing probably caused the increase in the number of incels and isolated, disaffected people out there. And we're not really worried about women. These are men that are doing this. And so,
Okay, so I have a question since this was planned and this was methodical.
yeah.
Would you ever think that the person would be circling the house 4 different times to be seen on surveillance camera in a car? Like, how could that be considered that it wouldn't be a huge mistake?
That's a great question.
Okay.
Obviously, he got caught, so he made mistakes. He left the sheath. That was a mistake. He got nervous and he cased it too long. That was a mistake. So he made mistakes. There is no such thing as a perfect crime.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Are there incels in South Africa or Australia? I would
Isn't
say
it great?
I think more Australia than Africa. South Africa, it's a pretty outdoorsy kind of place. I love South Africa, by the way. I think it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I love it there, and I love Australia. If I had a place to live other than America, I'd be moving to Australia, and I might.
You might. Oh
I
God,
might.
no.
We'll see. I might. I'll still be available, but they
I
need
know.
me in Australia. I love Australia. I love the people
I've
there.
never been there. Maybe
Oh,
when you go, I'll need to visit.
it's absolutely beautiful.
Can I come and stay for a week?
Yeah,
How long does it take you to fly there? What's the
17 and a half hours straight. I mean, we fly. Last time I went there, I flew from Cleveland to LA, LA direct to Sydney.
Okay.
And that flight from Cleveland to LA was 5 hours, and then
Yeah.
LA to Sydney was 18.
Really? So wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back with part two. And thank you so much, Scott, for 3 hours. I don't even know what to say.
All I can say to you is salam alaikum.
I love you, man. You're a
I
good dude.
love you too. All right,
And
move it out there,
I'll talk to
everybody.
you. I'll call you here when I get off here, and I'll get in the next couple of days. I'll find out more about what's being released, and then
Yeah.
we'll set up part two.
Yeah, and if you guys are
Thank you,
interested
Kat.
in this podcast, I have a podcast
Yes.
called Crime Scene Time Machine, available on Spotify and all the stuff. And if you like conspiracy theories, come check it out. It's pretty fun.
Thank you so much, Sarah. She said, "Thank you, Scott and Lana."
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. Love those glasses. She
There
looks
you go.
cool. She looks cool. I'd hang out with her and have a beer. All right, you guys. Love you all.
Okay. Thank you so much, Scott. We love you. Bye, buddy.
Awesome. I will see you.
All right. Well, there you have it. I mean, how you can't really when you got to work with what you got to work with, and I think it's actually amazing the things that he told us. You would have a guy like that on the stand as an expert, and think about on cross examination, he would not be able to rule the. Could this be done in 7 minutes? Could this be done in 8 minutes? You went ahead and did. I mean, if the state asks you to perform, and this is why they would never do it, would ask you to perform a reenactment of that happening, you guys, do you know how hard that would be? And if you do it, you have to turn that over to the defense, where it's opposite on the defense end, in terms of you could go ahead and do a lot of things, and if you don't want to use something, you don't use it. You don't have to turn it over to say, oh yeah, hey, guess what this kind of showed us, you know. So that's why the prosecution, I don't think would ever entertain something like that. But Gilbertson going in a room and counting 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. You know, I'm mad at myself that I didn't ask Scott. We'll do it on part two to say, hey, what do you think about? He would laugh at that. I know he would laugh at that. That's just crazy. So thank you all. Hey, dude, can you imagine if I was to go on something like a News Nation or a whatever, name one of those MSM, like you want to be able to talk about something and somebody gives you an offers an opinion or they ask a question, and let me ask questions where it would be like to stump that person that feels some type of way or has that theory or thinks this way. But today it was all about, hey, you're looking at this crime scene left-handed over there, it looks like, or that somebody was not rushing and running around and this wasn't a chaotic scene. Somebody wasn't leaving because, oh, I was only planning on being there for X amount of minutes and now I got to get out. Now I just ran into this girl. I think Scott made a really interesting point that the reason that Dylan is probably alive is because he had already changed. And you know how Dylan said something like that he was walking and carrying something like this, like his hands out like this. If he had done what Scott's saying, well, if I kill her, then I have blood all over this. That's not part of the plan. I can't kill her. Otherwise, there goes my plan. I think that's pretty interesting. Because that's one of the questions I'm saying. Whoever would leave a witness? Because Bill Thompson's over here saying, I know he would have saw her and she would have saw him. And it's like, Bill Thompson's doesn't make any sense with me. His explanation of that. This makes way more sense to me that you can't kill her. Then your plan is fucked, like royally fucked. So, again, Brian Colbert said I did it. So, well. She also said that he looked like a fireman. She also said that something about a gun. Um, but anyways, we did this for 3 hours. Hope you guys got something out of it, and use the comment section. Let me know what you thought, and we'll be back with part 2. Also, I'll be back. You guys get me like 3 times today. I didn't think this was going to go 3 hours though. I'll be back because I'm breaking down some Pullman drops in the form of body cams. So yeah, thank you, moderators. I do appreciate you guys. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Jam out with your clam out, rock out with your cock out, and peace.